tiene miedo que empiece, ¿cómo se dice uno ahí? Que empiece la gente yo no sé cómo se llama.
I'm not. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Mukah, Kodesh, with the wonders to the elders and the apostles, great millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And we're just going to get right into it. All right, as you can see what times we're living in. With all the news that's going on, things are ramping up. Now they're saying that Amalek is pretty much already on the ground over there in Gaza, and they're still giving out warnings to like the some people in Gaza and northern parts of Gaza to evacuate. But they pretty much got a ground invasion going on over there, and they pretty much getting ready to go up in there now. The Iranians, they basically came out and warned them already. All right, which just last week there was back and forth between the U.S. and Iran. Where the U.S. says that Iran basically attacked some of their troops, their bases and stuff. So they basically retaliated. Iran said, we didn't do that. They said, no, we did. So what's happening there? The Most High is basically using, these nations to stir each other up. So he can ultimately gather them. As a matter of fact, let's get that too in, what's that, Zephaniah 3? And Joel as well. The Lord's determination is to gather the nations. Okay? But all of this, like Yahweh Shai said,
this is Matthew chapter 24, starting from verse 2, verse 3. It says, and he sat upon Mount Olives. As he sat upon Mount Olives, the disciples came to him privately.
Now this he is talking about Yahweh Shai, right? Messiah.
Saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
So they were asking for a sign because eventually they came to understand that the Lord was, because the Lord would speak to them, cryptically, about how he had to depart. Where I'm going, you can't come. All right, but you're gonna be able to come, but not now. So eventually they got the message that the Lord was gonna leave, but he was gonna come back. And they thought, okay, well, what should we look for to know when you're gonna return? Right?
And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
Because they knew that the Lord's return would signify the end of that age. Okay, that rulership. So they said, what are the signs that we should look out for? And let us know what times we're in.
And Yahushua said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many.
Right, so the Lord wasn't going to, at that time, be able to tell them, hey, look, this person is a false person, or this person is that. So he basically gave them a warning ahead of time. Now, the beautiful thing about the scriptures is that the warnings that the Lord gave them, sometimes he was also speaking into the future because Yahushua already understood. So when he left these messages, the Lord had them preserved for us in this time. Ezra says that, right? That they in the latter days may find their way. Okay, and how are we finding our way? By seeking the old paths which are stored and recorded in here. So this is really the GPS, the navigation, for us to find our way back to the Heavenly Father. For us to see and know what's happening in the times that we're living in right now.
And it speaks about in the book of Ezra, but the most I have to do that, the scriptures, talking about like the destruction and like the climactic point of the perilous times. The scripture talks about how he has it in the beginning, it comes in part, so that you may know, this is the time I got to get my shit together. So the Most High is not in the habit of getting a drop on the men of the Lord. He always gives us chances. He gives us little snippets here and there, so that we may like the Lord said, navigate ourselves, so that we may, be able to stand firm when the actual moment comes, right? So, which also shows you why, a lot of these people are dead, those who believe in the scripture, those who at first believe in the scriptures, and then they come up and say, okay, well, they didn't come to pass, so I'm gonna let this thing go. But the scripture says that, you're supposed to take it seriously when these things come to pass, okay? In part, actually, So when it comes in part, don't accuse the Most High of being idle or being a deceiver. You're supposed to actually believe him. And because if he did it now, you definitely know what's going to happen in the future. If they're able to get us all in the lockdown procedure, you ought to know that, okay, then what their martial law is possible because they were able to get everybody indoors. If they were able to persuade everybody and coerce everybody into taking that juice, you're supposed to know, okay, good. Then they have the ability to coerce everybody and force everybody to get the chip. when it comes in part, then shall you know the what? Then shall you know that the Most High spake of these things from the very beginning. In part doesn't mean the Most High is a liar. In part actually means he's right. And that you must use this example and carry yourself, you know, and learn how to carry yourself in the spirit of Yahweh Shai when the actual moment comes.
That's right. And now, brother got a quick precept to back up the point you were making. Let's shift this down a little bit. You can bring it up.
This is Ezekiel 12 and 27. Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of the times that are far off.
Prophesieth.
Prophesieth.
Yeah,
Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, there shall none of my word be prolonged.
Right, so basically what they of the house of Israel say that the vision that he sees is for many days to come. So what is the vision? The vision are these prophecies, right? And it says there for many days to come. Now, some of the visions that they did see were for many days to come. And the angels did talk about that, right? That this is not going to happen until the end. But there's in this time, you still have people saying the same things about the same vision. But if the vision was to last 10 hours, you could say it's for, you know, it ain't going to come for a while when you first hear it. But maybe now we're in the 9th hour. You can't keep saying that it ain't going to happen for a while. Because we're pretty much in that last hour where these visions are going to come to pass. So what did the Lord say?
Ezekiel 12 and 28. Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, there shall none of my words be prolonged anymore.
So the Lord said, so as a result, tell them that the Lord's words are not going to be prolonged anymore. So what's an example? The Lord said he's going to bring destruction upon this place in specific instances. And then, you know, it doesn't happen for one generation, it doesn't happen for another generation. That was the word of the Lord being prolonged. That was the word of the Lord being prolonged. And now he said, tell them that it's not going to be prolonged anymore. So us prophesying to you about the times of World War III and martial law and the famines and the FEMA camps and the MOTV, that's not going to be prolonged anymore. Okay? Go on.
But the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord God.
Yeah, so what the Lord said, which is in the vision, which is in the book, is what's going to happen, is what's going to be done, saith the Lord God. You got it?
There's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. Going back to prolong, is yet for an appointed time. So that time of waiting for that thing to happen is where it feels like it's prolonged, because when the word goes out, you're thinking of it to happen right away. That's what the scriptures tell you, that because judgment isn't exercised exactly speedily. People are basically just taking advantage of the time that they have and just doing wickedness after wickedness after wickedness. Okay?
Yeah, the heart of the sons of men is to believe God.
Right, so going back to Habakkuk 2, in verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, right, and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it. So the faithful servants of the Lord are the ones who are going to be waiting for it, because they know that it's a promise that will be fulfilled, right? So even if it takes you from Yahushua's time, 2,000 plus years ago till now, all right, that's a long time right there, right? That's a time that feels prolonged. You know what I'm saying? Because the disciples at that time with Yahushua, we thought it was going to happen right then and there. But he said, no, I have to go to my Father and then come back. That time period that we've been waiting for has been, what, 2,000 plus years now, right? So the Lord said, at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, it will surely come, it will not tarry. So that proverb of, again, the 2,000-year span of, oh yeah, you guys have been saying this, my grandmother's been saying this, my great-grandfather, and all this extra stuff. Well, guess what? Now is the time where the prophecy is coming to pass. Where's your grandmother to tell you anything that's going on now? The only only person you can listen to are the prophets. All right? And that's if you listen. You know, you got people who hear, you got people who listen. Okay?
Was that enough? Oh, yeah. You read the last verse? Jump to 33 and 34. Because ultimately, like the brother was saying, now it's to the point where you can't, you know, those excuses that they used to make before, they can't do that. You know? Now you see the Lord is taking action very quickly. You know, and judgment is starting to go out. And the Lord is not holding back anymore. Okay? Go ahead.
This is Ezekiel 33 and 33. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come,
So
then
what's
shall...
it talking about? What's the it? The it is talking about these visions, these prophecies. So when they come to pass, lo, it will come, like we read in Habakkuk, right? That it will surely come, it will not tarry. Right?
Then,
Beginning of the end.
then shall they say, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them.
Right, because you're going to remember that there were certain individuals that were telling you about whatever it is that you're going to be living in. So when that thing happens, you're going to know, oh, shoot, these men were actually prophets. Because they told us everything was going to happen before it even happened. We just didn't listen. You know, but these men were right. Now we got to go find them so we can get some of them answers. Like in the movie The Matrix, right? If you've seen The Matrix, there was a part in there where Neo went with Morpheus and them, and they were looking for the oracle. All right, so that they could find out what the prophecy was. And she would tell them information to the prophecy. Okay? So they basically had to seek her to find that information, and that's going to be a lot of these people when the impending danger is upon them. They're going to try to run to look to the prophets to see if they can find some information to calm them down, you know, to keep them stable in their mind. Because right now, we stable. You know, we're not bugging out, we're not losing our minds. The truth is so powerful that even in the midst of adversity, you're going to be stable. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were singing in the middle of fire, praising the Lord. So, I mean, I don't know how much more stable it gets than that. Was it on there?
John 14, verse 20, let's start with 6. It says, but the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. So, hey, like you saying, you know, everything that's happening right now, if I guess you would say a person of this world, they will find this troublesome, they will find this worrisome. That's why a lot of people, they try to avoid watching the news, or they try to avoid having these conversations, or they just keep that pessimistic, optimistic mindset of things are going to get better, or, you know, we're not going to get involved, X, Y, Z. But it's like, they're already doing that because their heart is troubled, their mind is troubled. Their mind is troubled with the possibility of this escalating and becoming, you know, more and more dangerous, turning into, World War III. For us, and we're not troubled by these things because we remember what the Lord said. We have the Holy Spirit, which said these things should be brought to your remembrance. So now we know that these things gotta happen. These things must come to pass so that we can actually get our everlasting rest. You know, here we have the continuous cities, but we see when it comes. And the only person that's going to really be in that mindset is somebody that has a mind of the opposite. Everybody else is going to have a whole different type of view of what's going on in the world. Even these so-called truthers, they talk about it from a realistic standpoint, but they always say, we just got to pray, we got to hope that cooler heads prevail, that things de-escalate. But you see, your whole job is to see what's going on, and you see what's going on. You're doing shows on it, but you're still hoping that it's going to somehow de-escalate. That's because hopefully you don't have the spirit of Yahushua. You're not truly a prophet.
In trouble.
Right.
Trouble in mind.
Yep.
Because they're afraid. And that's ultimately because they can see the danger, but you can only go so far to see the danger. But if you don't see what comes next, okay, the danger is here, that's fine. At some point, everybody's going to see the danger. The question then is going to be, what do we do? There's always those two questions, right? Number one, what's going on? And number two, what do we do? So when they get past the what's going on, now they struggling on the, well, let's hope it de-escalate. It ain't going to de-escalate. So we're not in the mindset of praying for this place. Like you have certain people that, I forgot who it was, some old scholar, some pastor was saying that the Lord, America is described as Babylon in the scriptures and is prophesied to be destroyed But we got to pray so the Lord can so the Lord can take back that judgment, so He doesn't bring judgment upon this place. But if you understood the scriptures, you know that the scriptures say the word of the Lord doesn't come back void. Right? It says like as if an arrow was shot of a mighty archer, and it doesn't turn back. So is the word of the Lord.
The prophecies aren't boomerang.
Exactly.
They don't come back. The Lord said what? That it will accomplish. You should consider at the end. He said, can you get Jeremiah 30 chapter? The last verse. The Lord shall not return until it has. Got it?
Jeremiah 30 and 24. The fierce anger of Yahweh shall not return until he hath done it, and until he hath performed the intents of his heart.
Actually, read up one verse, because he's going to say what he's going to do.
Jeremiah 30 and 23. Behold, the whirlwind of Yahweh goeth forth with fury, a continuing whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked.
Hey, that can be associated with the chariots, right? That continuing whirlwind, but also the continuous plagues, the continuing judgment that the Lord is going to bring in this place. It's not gonna let up. It's not gonna be to where it's like, oh, I always say like, remember that time where shit was going crazy? Hell yeah, that was wild times in America. Like, nah. Once the Lord's visitation on the earth comes, His wrath comes, He's gonna let it fall out. He dealt with Israel in measure. Well, a little bit of judgment here, a little bit of judgment there, boom, boom, boom. But He didn't give Esau all the wickedness Esau did. I believe that's also in 2nd Maccabees, or 1st Maccabees 6 chapter. You can find that when I believe Eleazar was speaking. He didn't give that to these other nations, to Esau. He let Esau continuously do these things, build up a tab over and over and over and over, without actually bringing the judgment. But with Israel, every time we went off, the Lord immediately judged us, and that's really like a mercy thing too. Instead of just holding the wrath for a long time, He always judged Israel when they went off. That's why even to this day, people look at Israel like, y'all ain't not but slaves. Well, why are we not but slaves? It's not because we just wanted to submit. Nah, we're not but slaves because we're being punished. We've been punished for always going off. So that's why these heathens mindsets, they're like, oh, y'all just always just been at the bottom. And really, except for the 40 years between King David and the 80 years between King David and King Solomon, we have always been at the bottom. We look at our history as a nation. But for Esau, he sees it as he's always been at the top, especially since the Renaissance period, and he's never really gotten judged for that. But keep going.
The fierce anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have done it, and until he have performed the intents of his heart.
No. So he said the anger of the Lord is not going to return until he has performed the intents of his heart. He has an intention upon this place. And I think it says it in Isaiah, he's going to accomplish his purpose. You're not going to stop the Lord's purpose. So you saying, we got to pray for a Babel America, we got to pray that Cuba has to fail. That's literally falling on deaf ears. That's like, you're praying for the complete opposite. That's even Yahweh trying to tell Peter that. When he said, I don't want you to get it, he's like, you say the things that concern man. Get through behind me, Satan.
In the latter days he shall consider it.
Yep, you should consider it. And how are you going to consider it? See, we already considered it. But the world is going to consider it when you realize, like, it's not stopping. It's continuously just getting worse and worse and worse. That's when you're going to find out, this place is done. Because right now, people still have this false sense of a normalcy bias. Well, I can go to the park, I can go to the store. World War III is happening, or things are bracketing up over there, but my life is still normal. So they're not really considering. So guess what? The people in Gaza, they're considering. They're like, we may not live. That's why they're writing their names on their child's names on their legs, so that they want to be buried, mass buried, that they actually will have a name. They will know who the person is, what happened to them. That's the mindset that they're in at this point. They're considering the actual gravity of the situation. These Babylonians here in America, they're not considering what's going on.
this is Daniel 7th chapter. This is back at the elder will talk about the other nations having been judged here. This is Daniel chapter 7, starting from verse 2. Verse 12, it says, as concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what's happening. That's why you see them here now today. But at the end of the day, what's going to happen to the many? And the Yahushua comes back. Because if you read on in that chapter, it says, it describes Yahushua wait, is that the end of 7? I think it still talks about him coming down with the saints taking people, right? So when Yahushua, 7:18, that's it. So when Yahushua comes back, you know, he's going to lead that charge. We're going to take them down. So guess what? At the end of the day, that's also a sign. See, so Daniel also got a sign. Now, during the time of the disciples, as we were reading in Matthew 24, he gave them the more detailed, explicit signs. Daniel, in his time, he got a more higher overview, you know, and he got it in multiple different ways. You know, he got it as the different beasts, you know, recorded it. Oh, he recorded it. But they did have it recorded for us. You know, you had a Nebuchadnezzar who had that dream of the statue, you know. So this prophecy been there since the beginning. You know, it tells you about what's that, Luke 1 and I think 60 on down, how the prophets were prophesying about this from the beginning of the world, since the world began. You know? And now we're coming to the fulfillment of that time.
So Matthew chapter 24, verse 6, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
And that's the time we're in right now. We're hearing of wars, actual wars, and we're hearing of rumors of wars. So what you're hearing of is, for example, you may be watching you may be watching like a news clip, and you hear maybe one of the somebody in the U.S. say like, hey, at this point, if the U.S. goes and does this, that can get Iran involved, and this can really spiral into a more major conflict, which could possibly be Russia up in here and further nations, even go as far as NATO. That's a rumor of a bigger war, because you already have a war between Amalek and Gaza, but now, or Hamas, but now there are rumors out there of this war becoming an even bigger war, you know, like a vortex. Now, you know, this guy, I remember years ago, I mean, this was like 2013, 14, 15, David Icke, he was talking about that in that region there was going to be like a vortex. The event is going to be like a vortex that draws in all these nations that are going to come in here. So we were talking about World War III up all the way in 9th grade. You know, people were looking at you like, what are you talking about? You know? It was like, you know, gathering. It was for a point in time. So that's why the son of World War III was very important, because what he's saying, the end is not yet. Because you still have some other prophecies that got to take place. But you know what? It makes sense that these prophecies are going to be, you know, in a rapid succession. Because when you look at the tensions going on in the Middle East that are going to lead to the ultimate, you know, destruction, things are moving pretty rapidly. But it's like the Lord, he puts the brakes on it a little bit, then he lets it go. Then he breaks it a little bit. But if that's happening very rapidly, then what about the things that got to take place before that? You know, it doesn't make sense for the tensions to be this high, and then you say that we got another 3 to 5 years for the MOTV to come out before this then continues this escalation into a world war. By then, they done already formed peace treaties and calmed their asses back down. Yeah, they would have done all that, you know? So while the tension is hot, the Lord is, you know, stalls it, right? The angels are holding back the winds, but then you got these other prophecies that, all right, now it's your turn, now it's your turn, now it's your turn, you know? Because the time of the MOTV, the martial law, and all of these things, first off, in order for them to implement a system like that, where if you don't have the MOTV, you pretty much can't do anything, they need to have some draconian like measures. You know, they need that, and in order to get those measures, they need that civil defense.
They need an actual catalyst to have that happen rapidly. It's like the whole thing happened with the internet. Like those things that, you know, the whole lockdown and all that happened, that really happened very quickly. Why did it happen so quickly? Because it was something bigger to catapult for everybody everywhere to lock down. So you can do banks, there's the state of Israel, and like you have 10 big banks. They simulated a global financial problem, right? Collapse. That simulation, you don't do that for no reason. That takes time, that takes money. That's an operation that you're doing for a particular reason to see what would happen if these things occur. So all you now need, so you tested it, you already have the product that you want to bring out, right? You already tested it, you know how everybody will respond, how the banks will respond to it. All you now need is the actual issue. So for now to bring this product, bring the solution. We always say that the problem reaction solution. You know?
And that's how, like you said, it's a catalyst because they do something known as exercises, and then when it becomes real, they make it a live exercise. Like the pandemic, that was a live exercise, and they said it. I mean, I remember at that time it was Pompeo. He was there with, I think it was Mike Pompeo. He was standing next to Trump, and he was saying, he said, hey, I mean, guys, we're talking to the media. And he's like, guys, I know this is a live exercise here, but we still have to, you know, put it together like it's real for people to believe it. You know, so they're saying all this shit on TV. It's like, what the fuck? Why are people not paying attention? Same thing with the whole war thing. Like what Paul said, it's catalyst that brings in all this new draconian measures and all this different shit. Yesterday I saw a post saying that they're going to be bringing new travel measures, all right, because of safety. Because now, this whole Hamas situation, whether you might be in Africa, Asia, Europe, anywhere at all, there could be a threat. You know, there's a feeling of threat. So everybody got to be safe. So download this app that it connects you to the feds. So now the feds can tell you, hey, there's an alert here, so check it out. Or don't go over there. Or there's a grouping, or there's a protest, so don't go over there. That kind of thing. So another way of controlling the people. You know, over there in Israel, where they have the whole conflict, what do you think they're bringing over there? They're bringing all new strategic weapons. All right, that's every time they have a war, that's when they bring in the new innovative technology. You know, we're sending aid over here, we're sending aid over there. What aid are they sending? You think of aid, you think of money. When they say military aid, they're talking send the troops in there. Send the troops. You know, when we say humanitarian aid, we're trying to help the people. No, it's not humanitarian aid. It's bring the troops in who are going to guide and control where the people are going to go. That's all it is. And you wait till it comes over here to America, it's going to be the worst. Why? Because Americans are going to try to defend themselves. It's going to get bloody. Over there in the other countries, it doesn't get that bloody. You will have protests in the streets. You're going to have the fires, the Molotov cocktails being thrown around and shit. You have that because the people don't have arms to defend themselves. So you see them going back and forth with the police and all that. Over here in America, it's not going to be that way. They're going to be using strategic bombers. They're going to be using the tanks, the military, the super soldiers, exactly. It's going to come over here. And that's what's prophesied, man. So get ready for that. All right? But again, these are all steps leading to one thing and one thing only. MOTV, then what will be.
Yeah, so to the point, what you just actually said again, as far as like the time and like the next goal that goes in. All right, so this is the book of Ezra, 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 37. And it reads, by measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times. And he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So they say all of it, I mean, every step got to be taken. Everything he has to be done. Not skip.
He has measured those times, right? So really the Most High has set it up. So that's why only the Most High knows, you know, this is going to happen this time, this is going to happen, because he's the one setting it up. You know, at this point, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this happen. But remember, the Most High doesn't dwell in time. You know, so for us, it's like, okay, at what time is this going to happen? For the Most High, it's like, I'm going to set this to happen when it's going to happen. It's appointed. It's already baked into the timeline. You know, we just got to keep on, and we'll see as we get closer, but we don't know the exact point in time. And the Most High ain't going to take the time, all right, this is supposed to happen at this date, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to move it to this date. He ain't going to do that because he's bound by his word.
You can't even do that. If it's a movie, once the movie's already out, like you can't change the movie while he was playing. You know? So things are already set. It's already been written. The script has already been given to the producers. The producers are already set up the set. The actors are already acting it out. So it's already, that's why he said I declared the end from the beginning. You know, and that's why we ultimately, for us to have the knowledge, that's why we can be at peace. That's why we can be, you know, have a mind that is not bugging out right now. Wisdom and knowledge and understanding, because we know how the movie ends. You know, even though we're in it, but we know how it ends. Lord willing, we are the ones that are preserved to receive salvation. Why? I mean, why else you want to know how it ends if you're not going to try to fight to you know, to be delivered from it?
Hey, even the perfect example, the movie thing. Even before you get cast into the movie, you get the role you're gonna play. You get to read it. You read the script, you know, and then they do the testing, and then they say, okay, this guy would be best to fit this role. So we are the prophets who get to read the script of the movie. So we know what's going on. So the whole time, we are playing a role in the movie, but really we understand the movie. We know, okay, this is beginning, middle, end, everything in between. We understand it. So now our job is to what? Is to tell the people, basically spoil the movie for you, all right? And you got people who are gonna pay attention to it and say, oh, yo, they said that this is gonna happen in the movie at this time. Oh, okay, fair. I'm gonna pay attention to that. I'm gonna wait for that because there's a very important detail. You might miss that. They're not gonna tell you everything, but they're gonna tell you enough where you gotta pay attention to it, you know? And then when the scene comes in, you see, you're like, oh, that's what the prophets were talking about. Oh, this part of the movie, we gotta do this because it's gonna happen in real life or whatever it may be. You see? But the people who are passing by, you hear the inner parts of the movie, but you're not paying attention to it. You don't care, you know. And those are the same people that, in the part of the movie, they get destroyed. It's like a flood that just takes them all over, or a big ass accident, or an earthquake that collapses the building that they were warned to get out of. Whatever happens, it's always the people who got the warning that didn't pay attention. They always get messed up. They show you the same thing in every movie. But I got a quick precept. Before you mentioned that. You also brought out this point here. There's a book of Job, chapter 14, and verse 5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Right, so again, Esau has a time to rule. Okay, physically he has a space to rule. He can't make it out of that space. That's the bounds. And also the time of his rulership is also the bounds. So when it gets to that time, scriptures tell you in 2 Ezra that what Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. That end, it has to come. And guess what? We are at that end. Okay? That's why you're seeing these devils, their names are being put in the mainstream a lot more for the whole world to see. Why? Because they're now on trial. Everything that the prophets, remember last time we were in Pernambuco, we talked about it. We used the example of being put on trial, and now look what's going on. So they are being put on an open trial on the internet through the prophets and the men of the Lord. And now the whole world is open to see the trial. So what you're seeing now, and it's going to escalate. This whole concept, oh, anti-this and anti-that, guess what? It's going to come to the point where people are going to tune in and say, okay, the topic of the world conversation is, who are the Israelites? That's it. And once that time comes, the whole world is going to tune into that very point. And you're going to see Amalek versus Israelites. That's what it's all boiling down to, because the whole war, the Lord said it, that he's going to plead with all these people, these nations, because of who? Because of Israel. The Israelites, the 12 tribes. Okay? So that's the next step and part of the movie.
Hey, that's spiritual, because I believe the 2 Thessalonians, Paul said that the iniquity, mystery of iniquity is what already worked, and he will let it until he be taken out of the way, right? And then shall that wicked be revealed. So he's going to let him work, as you said, the bound of time until the appointed time. It says, and he who let it, which is the Most High, will let him do it until he be taken out of the way. And Esau is the end of the world. That's why even in the second Esdras, they asked, Esdras asked, what should be the parting asunder of time? What should be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follows? So he gave him the sign. All right, this is what this is going to look like. That's what it's going to be. Esau's the end of the world. That's what you got to look out for. Write that down. You come back and remember that. Because it's like, these things that we're reading, we wrote those things for us in the latter days through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Shah. That's why we knew Paul knew who the wicked was. Paul knew who Esau was. But he couldn't write it that way because he was in the Roman, like, the scriptures wouldn't have lasted if they would say, yo, this white, this red man, like, he the devil. And he gonna get into power, but yeah, nah, he gonna get taken. That wouldn't have lasted throughout time. So the Lord, that's why the Lord said, like, sir, give my seeds to my servants the prophet. They wrote it this way. You write the mystery, call him a man of sin, call him the son of perdition, call him that wicked, call him that old serpent. But who we talking about? Y'all gonna know. Y'all gonna know when y'all come back. That's why he told Daniel, stand in your lot in the latter end. He told John that in the latter end you're gonna have to prophesy again to kings and to nations. So these things were written for us at the end, because the end when everything is going to manifest. When the second half of the then shall the end be manifest. And that's why right now we're able to bring all these things that were written aforetime. Everybody has access to, but nobody understands what's going on, is because the Lord said, nah, I'm gonna send my prophets last. I sent the Christianity. I sent in Islam. I sent you doing all these other things. I'm gonna send the prophets last. And that's why this has become so globalized. Rapid.
Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 8. If a man desire much experience, she knoweth things of old, and conjectureth aright what is to come. She knoweth the subtleties of speeches, and can expound dark sentences.
So when it says she, is not talking about an actual woman, but really those that have wisdom, when you exhibit those characteristics, like we're able to speak about the intellect. You know, we're able to understand the subtleties of intellect.
As the elder just mentioned, he made the point about it's encoded, so it's not for everybody to see. But if you can expound on dark sentences, that means you can look at, accuser of our brethren. What is that talking about? Who is that? That's actual man. That's actual nation. Esau. But that's the spirit of wisdom has to be with us. It says, and can expound dark sentences. She foreseeth signs and wonders and the events of seasons and times. She foreseeth signs and wonders. So that's why you see the things that's going on in the world. It's not a mystery to you. It's not a, I don't know what's going on, what's what, because the prophecy has a practical application of what's happening in the world. Christians, they'll say, well, yeah, the prophecy there, that's a great prophecy, but we don't even know what it is. You know, they actually know how is it playing out? How is Joel 3, awakening a Gentile, or, awakening the mighty man? How is that playing out? Proclaim this among the Gentiles. How does the book of Obadiah play into what's happening right now? How is the book of Revelation 12 and 12 applying to right now? To them, it's just a loose bunch of dark sentences and fairy tales that they can't actually apply to real life. So the scriptures is a dark book to you. It's useless to you. It only has value when it's wielded by the right men.
I think it's in that same chapter he says to make it the phrase of the holy prophet.
Yep. I think it's 7.
And it's a very difficult thing to really think about it in order to really break down the scriptures, especially the prophetic ones. Because you need to first decipher what's being written, understand what is it that you're talking about, and then understand, okay, linking the people that identify in it. Because it'll say this person will do this. You got to understand, okay, what is this person going to do? But then who is this person? And when you understand that, then you got to link them with modern day, what's happening. So it's very easy for you to say, that's why people turn around and say Babylon is Vatican, or the beast of Rome, or something like that. They're not talking about the Roman Empire. They're talking about prophecy with the wrong thing. Because if you have only understanding of that one part, you may say, oh, this makes sense that this is talking about this one person or one group or one event. But you need understanding of the whole book before you get a balanced outlook to know, oh no, this ain't talking about the Vatican, it's talking about America. So it's not an easy thing, but for us, because of the Spirit of the Lord, we made it so.
Read this in the compact. We brought it out plenty of times, but it applies here. You read about Edom. It says Edom figures prominently in prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgment. So the scriptures, like the Paul, like we were just saying, Paul, you read about in Revelation where it speaks about the Armageddon and World War. It never mentions Edom, right? It doesn't say Edom. These scholars, they did a diligent search, because obviously they give you the scriptures where it speaks about future judgment. Well, with that future judgment, Isaiah the 34th chapter, Isaiah the 63rd chapter, Jeremiah 49, if that never happened yet, then Edom still has to be on the scene. They still have to be here. And a lot of, especially with vocab and org guys, that Edom is done away with, well, it said it deals prominently. That word prominent means like they're an important figure. They're important. They have an important role in the movie of prophetic scriptures of future judgment. But the Lord gave the prophet understanding of, all right, well, who is Edom today? Who is that now? Because they're not called by Edom anymore. None of these nations really go by their actual Hebrew names. Ishmael, maybe they know the Ishmaelites, but they don't go around there, I'm an Ishmaelite. You know what I mean? So only one that really does it is the one that ain't it. Is the what? The 48ers. How is that the only one that lasts out all these tribes? They're the only ones that still got their names.
Because it's biblical identity.
Right. And no, you took the wrong biblical identity. You took the one that you were the complete opposite of.
You taking the Hamites.
Yeah. He did take the Hamites too, right? They show the pictures, but they don't say like, yo, we're the actual Hamites, but they actually profess that bold. But the wicked, as read, the end shall the wicked be revealed. So now that's being revealed, and that is actually through the spirit of the Lord's mouth, the prophets, and that's what's causing everything in the world to now to unravel. That's what's causing the end to unravel, the end to be manifested, because they're going to reveal Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones, the Israelites been waking up. Now the ball gets rolled toward the end of this. But remember, the Lord said that this is compared to like a drop to the real story, which is us in the kingdom. Like you always say, this is the prologue. So this gotta come in quick.
It's funny too that the fact that they go so hard to try to connect people like Esau Edom was done away with. That means that they exist. The fact that you have to come out and say, well, they don't exist anymore. If it was a known thing, you wouldn't have the need to come out and tell the world about it.
Yeah, nobody tries to argue that dinosaurs don't exist.
Exactly. Because you don't see them. You don't need to go educate someone. Hey, you know, dinosaurs don't exist. They're done away with. We know that. We don't see them around. But Esau Edom is very, very much alive. He's the one who does everything. You can't hide from it. You could say, oh no, that's anti-this. You could call it all you want. You just can't say it's not the truth. Because it is the truth. You can call it names, you can call it hate speech, guess what? Facts ain't hate. I always say that. Facts ain't hate, man. And the world is waking up to those facts. Whenever I see a video, I go in the comment section, all you see for the most part is people saying the same things we said. That, oh, those are not the true Israelites, those are not the true people from God and all. They say it all the time. They ask questions that I haven't even thought about. I'm like, oh shit, okay. So people are tuning in. They are tuning in and they're not going according to the narrative that Esau Edom is pushing no more. They're not playing with that no more. You know?
So now what is the narrative that he's trying to use? One last ditch effort before he comes down with the sword again is victimization. That's the last thing. That's his last deceptive tactic to use. Before it's like, you know what? Fuck, cat's out the bag. You know, take the run, fake a mask off and see the devil. Cat's out the bag, nigga. Here I am. And then they go like, I would have got away with it. That's why they gonna persecute us. I would have got away with it if you meddling prophets. And then now we gonna. But that's when the Lord said, when the enemy coming like a flood. So we all see it. You know, we see what's going on. Everybody's pointing a finger at you. You being exposed. The Lord said that what? That also is skirt. Right? I'm gonna show the nations. This is him being the nations being shown. You still trying to cry, you still trying to do what you did with Cain. As Cain, you still trying to do, oh, this is too much for me. You still trying to do what you did with Esau. It's not working no more. You're not getting away with the same shit no more. Because this is the time of the judgment.
It's getting so bad right now in Israel, they just gave the go-ahead for them to use live ammunition on protesters. Because their own people are protesting against what they're doing. They're like, oh, we don't want war, stop bringing death on those Palestinians. The elites over there, they're like, you're against us? How are you the people of God? How are you the nation of Israel if you can't even come to one accord amongst yourselves? You can't even come to one accord. They can't even agree on what they want to do in terms of war. They're protesting because they want to be probably Sodomites still. Because you have the right wing over there too, just like you have it over here. And Esau can't hide himself. I was just watching Stephen Benu, Israel News Live on YouTube. That dude is red as hell. You see this last video, his face looks super red. And Edom means what? By the room, red. So even though it's hidden in plain sight. And it's dark, but when you actually know it, when the Lord gives you the spirit of wisdom to see the dark sentences and to be able to break it down, you're like, oh, this is plainly obvious. So they must have a delusion to not be able to see.
And you know what's so interesting too, because like the concepts of it is like, it's really a mystery, because if we're talking about Jacob and Esau, they're twin brothers. Why y'all, like, we're obviously we don't look nothing like y'all, but it makes perfect sense why we are what we look like, and then why that's why the scripture says like he came out and ran all over like a hairy garment, right? That's a dark saying really, but it's really not too. Like it's like why did he all right, who's this? Who does this match? You just look in the world like who is this nigga? Like, somebody gotta fit this nigga. Like, why is he red? Like why is he a red person? But then that's why they changed the whole vernacular of it. We're not red, we're white. We're this. You changed. That's why was that Revelation 20 chapter? You went out for a little season to deceive the nation. Because before that, before the Renaissance, people knew they knew all this. They had, even I believe, during the time of Yahushua, Antipater, so you still had the Athenians as a nation of people. But once they came from out of the dark ages, the Lord let him out for a season. It says literally for the purpose for him to be let out. Why? So as to deceive the nations and to gather for the great war of God to make.
Here we are.
Here we are.
It all started on the 7th of this month. And that's when all this started. Look how much it's progressed.
Right.
And October, it's a couple days left, but like, and the dude, a guy from Israel said that expect it to go on for months, at least.
Yeah, they said it's going to be a long, what's this guy, Kirby? Yeah, that's Kirby. They said, I think
Bloody.
somebody asked him, somebody said, yo, Biden said that if Iran did something, that they were going to respond. And Iran just decided. And now they ain't do that. So when we go, is this the response? He said, oh, come on, really?
You respond, yeah, you can respond at a time that we want, at a position that we want.
Yo, these guys right here, they come talking all that shit. At the end of the day, the Lord, they're gonna do it when the Lord pushes them to do it. So it's kind of like Pharaoh. The Lord hardened. He don't want to see Pharaoh really. He was gonna let him go. The Lord said, no. I need no. Keep that. There you go. So the Lord kept that same energy on him, and that's what the Lord is doing to these guys right here. They're like, yo, it's gonna be World War III, but then Lord puts the spirit on you, still gonna do it anyway. You're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
That's how Satan get in their mind. It's like, you gonna let him talk. When two people are fighting and somebody hypes you, you gonna let them talk. You gonna let them Palestinians do like that? Come on, Abe. You looking weak out there, man. You letting them just do whatever with you, man. Come on, step it up. You're supposed to be the hammer of the earth. You're supposed to be the wicked. This is supposed to be your world right now. Act like it, man.
But they're gonna ultimately, because we in that time now. Now that's a good point you brought up, right? Because this whole thing started on the 7th, and just like that, we already at a point where they talk about robbing business, right? Yeah. So you see how quickly, because on the 6th or the 5th or the 1st, ain't nobody was thinking about that.
Or you had the same month? Was that this month? When you had the emergency alert?
That was the 5th.
Oh, that was the 4th.
I thought it was okay.
It was the 4th. Yep.
So you had that.
Yep.
A couple months earlier, remember they gave up all of the senators the radio, the phone. Like, why y'all doing all this? All of a sudden, you got the first situation. Like, there's literally the Lord is the mustering up the whole set of battle. Like, it's something that's happening.
But now I'm thinking, like, if you burp in the middle of an interview, maybe.
Video that came out of how to basically what to do in the case of a
New York, right?
Yeah. Around the same time.
Yeah, when they shall waste the fortune of the land. Because we in a time of war, and the reason we're talking about this like it's so prevalent is because we know what's gonna come out of that east. We know what's gonna come out of that region. A lot is gonna go in there. A lot of people are gonna go in there, but a lot is gonna come out of there as well. Okay, so just do what?
So 1924, it says, and ye shall hear wars and rumors of war. It says, for nations shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows.
Yeah, and it says in diverse places, right? Now, keep in mind that there are actual famines, like right now, there are places that are in severe famine. And just because it's not happening in your block, doesn't mean it's not happening. That's why Yahushua mentioned in diverse places.
the earth itself is in trouble. Meaning the inhabitants of the earth are actually suffering and struggling. The thing is that well-developed countries, they basically get it last because they're more advanced than, like, for example, a third world country. But it doesn't mean nothing is happening.
And that's also why a lot of these first world countries because they're saying that, I mean, also you do have Esau being a demon with that, but they're also saying that this is for because there's a food security globally. And like how you said, the first developed countries, they get it last. And they're trying to be accountable for it. So like, yo, in 10, 5, 6, 3 years, or whatever years, whatever's happening in Yemen, that can happen right here. Because we're running out of food supply. So we gotta start making food. We gotta start doing lab grown food. And try to process it and have it happen quick. Because there's a whole actual process that goes into making actual food. They don't just pop up like yours. They just don't pop up in the supermarket. They gotta go through a whole process. And that process, because the earth is failing, right? The Lord said in 2 Amos 50 chapter, the crops is going to fail, the earth is going to be failing. It's now taken, and then he goes down on top of that how Esau is just destroying the earth, so it's not yielding up its strength as much. So you can't just wait on the earth to do what it does every cycle to produce enough food for everybody to eat. So what do? Now we gotta make food. But that's the what? Famines. You making that food. A lot of people not gonna eat that shit. A lot of people want to eat it, but a lot of people are not gonna eat it. So that's gonna cause what? If there's a shortage of actual food, that's gonna cause riots. 2 Amos 15 chapter for the lack of bread. Because the lack of bread can happen before you even have mass production of this lab grown shit. Then what? Now you fighting over the supplies or the scarcity supplies of actual food that you have. Why are you locking up shit already? So it's the whole process as Yahweh said. You're going to have famines. You're going to have in diverse places, wars in diverse places. It's not just here in America. It's the actual type of world. What's even in the earth what you need, right?
Yeah, real quick, I was listening to the BBC news. This was like about a month ago or so, and they were saying that I think in Nigeria there's a lady. She has like she got a family. She got a husband. I think she had 2 kids and herself. And what they do is every day, their job is basically to be workers for the family. Right, that's their job. They don't go out to work any professional jobs. Their job is the family. So the man has the land, and he decides, okay, I'll give a small portion of the land to my wife to garden. You work on your garden when you're not working in my field type shit. So during the morning, she makes food, they take it to the farm, they go work in the farm, on her husband's land or whatever with the kids and everything. They come back home in the evening, she cooks and all that. Cool. The story is, she's saying that now it's hard for them to even grow crops because what's happening is the forecast, right? When the news people come out and say, hey, expect some rain next month, everything, they do all the preparation to go in for next month, and then when next month comes, there's no rain. And then there'll be a month and they'll be like, okay, we're expecting it to be dry completely. That dry completely, they don't prepare. And then next thing you know, they get the rain that they were looking for. And then she was saying it, what she was saying, I said, wait, hold on, that doesn't even make sense. How is this happening? There's gotta be Esau sending out misinformation. Why? Because now she's saying that everything is off. The whole cycle is off to the point where they can't tell what's happening. So now they can't grow crops. Last year, same thing happened. So this year, the food that they have is from previous years. So they didn't grow anything from last year for this year and the year afterwards. So whatever they have is like years ago. See, so now they gotta work with what they got now because they weren't able to plant nothing last year. This is something that's even happening here in America. Out west, this was back in 2018, 2019. Dabo was reporting on this. He was saying that the farmers are saying that they can't grow their crops no more. The fertile is all messed up and shit, right? And they were saying that, yo, this was 2018, 2019, that the food is gonna be affected years from now. They were saying like 3-4 years. We're not in that time span. We're not in that time span. So families in diverse places, Argentina, they were having no food for like years. Back in like, was it 2017, 18 around there? They said they had no food whatsoever. Women were selling themselves. This was all happening. Inflation at an all-time high. They had hyperinflation. You know, Venezuela, yep, same thing. And those are what are considered third world countries. So like the elderly brother was saying, the same thing is going to come over here to America and all these developed countries. But it has to happen in order for them to be able to pitch their 3D printed meat and all this extra shit. They have to eradicate the food process. They have to eradicate the natural way of eating and then present to you the solution, which nobody's going to like.
They said that was that a lot of the grain comes from that area. And because of the whole war, they're not, it really gets it, America, the westernized country gets it from there. Because these third world countries, a lot of them like in the Middle East and like Asia, they have their ownership, they control their ownership. A lot of things get imported to over here to America, and that's America being a rich country, the world's currency, they're able to buy that food product from them, and that's how these other countries look delicious. That's how they get rich off of America, because they got the product, America got the money, but now the product can't get over here. So now that's causing what? That's when you're going to start seeing the effects of the wars. The wars can bring in famines. That happens. Wars can bring, you know, a financial crisis. So now you have the war in Russia and Ukraine causing a food insecurity, and then you can have this war. They saying that could affect the oil, and then if the oil get fucked, that's over.
Because that's the whole fossil fuel shit. It's over because they already stopped drilling here in American soil. So everything we're getting here is imported. So now the imports, all these countries that deal with crude oil and all these different things, they're gonna shut down on America too. They're gonna side with the Arabian countries, and they're gonna come against America because everybody sees what the hell's going on here in America, bro. That all this shit started because of America, and it always starts with America. Guess what? Oh, there's war over here, America gotta join in over there. Oh, there's war over there, America's over there. Why? Why? All these countries are asking the same thing. Turkey came out and said it. Huh? Keep it not at home, exactly. So Turkey's even joining in. Turkey's a NATO country. And their question, they're like, yo, why are you butting your head over here with the Turk?
48 is just gave free to have all the things that are leave out.
Shit. The 48ers are part of NATO too. So how the fuck are you gonna say, okay, two NATO countries are not official?
I don't think they're officially. Oh yeah.
They're not?
Nah, North Atlantic Treaty. I don't think they're officially part of NATO. It's EU and America and Canada. Okay. But they're like,
because
they're not control NATO.
Right. Because I was like, because if something happens to Israel, automatically I think that they said it brings in Article 5, and that can only happen if they're part of NATO. I'm gonna have to double check.
Maybe because how closely tied the U.S. is with
If America gets involved, then other nations.
We can go back.
Right.
You know, but again, these nations are all coming to a tense head. This morning, in the car, remember the video I was watching? I think he was the son of somebody from Iran, one of the top people from Iran, and he made a statement. He just said straight up, listen, America, you make one more move, and it's going to be the last you ever make. I said, oh, shit. Like,
He said, I'm strong.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Since when? And this is Iran, and they don't play that.
Well, what were we reading earlier today? Second and 15. It says the Carmanians shall join, come raging in wrath. You know, and they're going to join in the war with them, with the Arab nations. So that means that when Iran joins, it's going to be through something major is going to cause them to be so angry, so wrathful that they're going to come in there with that anger. You know, and when they come, like it says, out like the wild boars, and them boars, man, you think they're just like some regular pigs? Don't go mess with a bush pig. You're going to see them, and they fast. Yeah, they can kill you. You know, them shits.
More you do that.
This ain't no Timon and Pumbaa shit. Hakuna Matata, yeah. Got that? Okay, all right. You don't need to keep hitting them pieces. Ezekiel 38, then Joel's, you know, then Revelation 18, then Isaiah's, because that's the times that we're in. You know, so because the Jeremiah 50s and 51s and 34s and 49s, you know, and 47s, all of them. Because now that we're in those times, these are the main focus pieces. You know,
and really hitting those right now is really the Lord's last passion. Because like we already see how these things about to lead to the eventuality of us.
These are my southern friends that we work with. It's a southern company.
If you ever find it.
Hear the word of the Lord, but they're not going to be able to find it. They might stay out the Bible, but how you going to be able to understand what's going on, because the scripture is never going to say the Iranians. It's not going to say the Russians. So you're going to try to look at scriptures for like, oh, is there any type of evidence or any type of understanding of what's going on, but you're not going to be able to get it. Because the ones who the Lord had it, he had you out there, he had the ones out there actually making sense, making it plain upon the table, but you didn't take advantage of it. You misused the prophets. So then what happens when they get taken off? When we get taken off on the streets or off of being able to speak, that doesn't stop the Lord's prophecies. The prophecies are still what we've been talking right now. That's actually still working out. Now you're just not going to know. You're going to be lost in the sauce. And that's going to be even a more dangerous position for the person like you. Because you got certain things happening. And then like, I remember I seen a clip of 911. And there were people like on the bay or whatever, like on the shore, and they saw the actual plane hit. And the guy's like, what's happening? Like, you see what's happening, but you can't make sense of it. Like, you know, like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? What's happening? It wasn't until you actually had George Bush came on, we just got hit, blah, 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 blah. But you was in a state of confusion for a minute. But the thing is, nobody's going to come once everything hits the fan. When shakes the fan, nobody's going to come. Oh, yeah, this is actually a prophecy of, you know, like the scriptures that we just named. So you're just going to be in a state of panic of like, why we don't know what's happening, what's going on, until you end up either waiting, riding out until the missiles come, or you end up dying in some other type of way.
All right, it says there shall be no man left to comfort them. You know, like what you were saying, because whenever something comes out, there's always somebody to come and tell you, oh, this is what's happening, or we got it under control. Even if it's a lie, there's some damage control. But ain't gonna be none of that in this time.
And they said the power show standing fear. But Kirby go up there, and he might be like,
I don't know.
you little stupid ass look. I don't know. I don't know. They were like, they ain't gonna be having no more. They ain't gonna be no more about that little black bitch up there still talking. John, yeah. She gonna be gone. They all the one that got the little radio phones. They be like, oh, okay. They gonna be talking you from like, yo, we go to your nearest fallout shelter because we don't know what's going on. Like, they're raging, the commanders are raging. We don't know what's going on. They even said that, like the thing that happened in Maine, right? They told the people to stay shelter in place. We don't know what's going on. We don't know where this nigga at. We don't know who he is. Stay in place. That's the only thing we can tell you. So you got people up there. They was afraid. They're like, who the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck? You know? Imagine that on a global scale or like on a national scale.
It talks about that also in 2 Corinthians 13 about how we was reading that earlier, right? From the land of Assyria, they shall besiege them, and that they're gonna do something that's gonna cause like basically some attack that's gonna cause fear between it says the hosts, you know, and the kings. You know, so meaning the presidents and them in the top part, they're gonna be like, what's going on? You know? We don't know what just happened, we just got hit with some shit, but we don't know what's going on. You know, and people gonna be completely losing it because don't sleep on that, man. That narrative of people flushing in through the border, something is going on in there. No, they wouldn't come out and tell you that there may be some Hamas people in there for no reason. You know, they were bringing these people in by the boatloads. So definitely that, and if they saying people from Hamas are in there, then most definitely they can come out and say that there's some Iran back militias or sleeper cells or all of them in there. You know, so that's not a far-fetched thing at all. And with that, imagine they come out and they do some major attacks. You don't think that's grounds for martial law? Like on a heavy level? Yeah. And they don't know who's who. Yeah.
Global stock market's still out.
This is the S&P 500 is going down. This is the third month in a row that they've seen a decrease. Not even not even this is just straight down. Yeah, 3 months straight. I was like, oh, okay, that's good.
Joel 3:9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near.
So why do you say wake up? You got reserves, right? So when people are in the army, typically when it's most active when there's war. Of course, you always have personnel, but it's most active when there's war. That's your military. And they go to wherever they got to go and do what they got to do. But in times of peace or times of not so whatever war, you got people that get, you know, discharged, if that's the correct term, you know, and then you got some people that are not really active in there. But now what they're doing is they're calling people out of reserves. They're really training up these people. And you know what? Because of that time of peace, they thought it was okay to throw women up in here, throw soft people up in here, because everybody's thinking I could just go to the army and just chill. You know, you go to the military.
What Joel was saying is he's telling, really, the Lord is telling Joel to say that. Joel represents what? The prophets. And he's saying, yo, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Go tell them, prepare war. And that's what we're doing. Like, go tell y'all, prepare war. Because that's exactly what happened when we started waking up. What was the first thing we were talking about? Oh, y'all going to World War III. That's what the prophets did. So proclaim this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war. We woke up now. This is our shit. Y'all done. Y'all gonna fight amongst each other. We're not gonna fight. Our shit gonna come. We don't got a military. Y'all fucked this up, right? But prepare war. Wake up your mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. And that, but what you just said, they had this soft time, right? It says good times make soft men. They had this time where they thought, like, everybody, it ain't gonna be war. We have a global Pax Americana. There's global peace. But now, once the Israelites woke up, things started to be mustered up. Now you got tensions involved. But now you got all your people, all your mighty men ain't mighty right now. So now they start to say your mighty men gonna cry bitterly. They gonna forborn to fight. But you still gotta prepare war.
Yep. They become as women.
They just said that. They become women. I don't know if y'all seen his army cats. They was like softies as you call them. They was dancing and prancing around. They were extremely dancing like in the army uniform. And basically somebody said like, yo, we're America can't. That's why I gotta say that America has no position to win any war with anybody.
I think there was a video where they showed on the side by side. They got like the Russian army. You got dudes walking in the dead of winter with the boots on. You know, they tough. And they flip to these guys. They doing TikTok videos. They got the camera set. And then they doing the dances and shit. They like, oh,
transforming with the U.S. Marine cloud. Like, oh yeah, y'all done. Like, and the thing about it, I know you want to say. No, go ahead. I gotta get my throat.
I was also going to say that this is also making mockery of America as well. The same thing that the Lord did upon Egypt, when he was mocking those gods of Egypt when he did the red, was it the Nile River? Yeah. And then with the Lord upon now with the TikTok that we mentioned, everybody can see that in the whole world. It's the whole world seeing that. Y'all looking like things like children playing dress up, like that's how y'all look. Now they're making the Maryland Farms making America like a pretty much mocking the same thing that they exalted to make it look like a they give the woman a job.
You go to the army, wherever you are, if you're a woman, because they want their soldiers to have confidence. So yeah, if you go to, if your man tell you I'm talking to your wife, she'll look at you and know that you're beautiful, you have black chicks like you. Like, and I'm not kidding, it's like all the righteous. So when I go in there to get all that, that's what's going on in there. They don't go in there because they're strong and that they're patriotic. They're just going there for hurt. Exactly.
Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 16 says, Thou art filled with shame and woe. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And that's exactly what Shalom was speaking about. What was the glory of America? The military, right? The superpower. That was like, there's no military that can match us, our Marines, our Navy, it's this and that. Now it's a shameful spewing upon it. And it happened, and that's why when you think about it, the whole that come quickly, we talked about it, like it happened in one generation. Because you got the same military men that said, back when I was a cadet and blah, 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 we was tough, blah, blah, blah. But those men are like 60, 70, 80 years old now, and when they see these new generation of white men, they're embarrassed. They're like, oh, he's crying.
He's like, I didn't fight, I didn't put my life on the line for a country like this bullshit. He was pissed.
And when did that happen? The same generation with the truth coming out. Hey, I was thinking about the other day too, like the whole women liberation thing. That happened around the same time, where the truth came out, and they got liberated. They was able to wild out, and within the same generation, now you got women saying, "Oh, no, this ain't it." There's a couple kids later, but it's the same like 50, 60 years because you can do generations two different ways. So if between that phase, same 50, 60 years, now you're just like, "Oh, nah, well, I don't want to be independent no more." The Lord gave you this short period of time, and it was like, this is horrible. This ain't it.
Hey, but you know what's funny too? It's crazy how Shalman, you mentioned something about TikTok. I know this from the spirit. The first time I saw TikTok, I was like, wait, we definitely got to be out here. It's like the Lord using that, mockery because we have TikTok, which is a sign of clock pace. That's like America, your time is up. Like TikTok, and then the moment you see America's time is up, all you see is fuck shit. It's like, this is why America's gonna be destroyed. And it's all coming out within the past 2-3 years. You've seen the worst shit, and it's being put out through TikTok, man. So the Lord is just everything, you know?
Oh yeah. So you see Moab doing that work with bricks, then they steal like this with their knives. But here it is, you see, man.
Yo.
Nahum 3 verse 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored brothers, the mischief of witchcrafts that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts, behold, I am against thee, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vow, and will set thee as a gazing stock. And that's what happened through the internet, through TikTok, all these things. You're seeing what America really is all about, the mindset, the mentality of these people. And it's because of the witchcraft, because they fell for the sorcery, they fell for the enchantments that this place is built upon, the demons, the idols, the gods, as we said before, that this whole place is built on. And now the Lord is showing you this is what it produces. When you are into pop, when you're into all these guys, when you're into all these things, this is the type of people that you get. So now we're still proclaiming war. So now these are the people that gotta go to war for you. These are the people that gotta defend you. And well, those are the people that's gonna be dragged and drawn into the war. They will be dragged into the wars. Bro, easy, man.
I'm saying, the draft, if they do the draft, like it's an age group they're going to target. And that age group is the age group that's into all of this function. So that y'all going to have to, because they said that they might get into where, if you want to join, before it could be jail time. I don't know how true I heard that it could be worse penalty now. That could be take you out. And nobody hear from you.
They might as well just go back in there.
They might as well just kidnap you and just still put you there.
I'm talking about Esau still trying to be the still professional protocol the way about it. That's going all about the window, like I said.
I remember the selective service that you have to take. They already have a list of people, so it's like, okay, and women, y'all more than us that went to college, so it's like, oh, we have a selection of ladies to go through. Come to war.
Yes, I don't think.
And it's funny because women before couldn't go to combat. Okay? They could be in the military, but they couldn't actually go. They had to be stateside, or they had to be back to be the nurses and stuff like that. But they weren't allowed to actually go to combat. And they fought for all these things, right? You fought for all these things you wanted. Well, this is what comes with it.
It's like trying to be a man, but you don't want the responsibility that comes as it's like, nigga, right, exactly. And you want to just sit home and do nothing. That's the duties of a woman. Stay home and do what needs to be done. But no, you want to be a man. But when it comes time to actually step into the roles of a man, all of a sudden, no, this ain't fair. You try to run away.
And a lot of men are also fed up with that. Not even in the truth, just men in general, they're fed up with women try to play that double standard role. So you got a lot of men that are going to be like, nah, y'all go to war too. Y'all want this? Y'all coming also. They're like, no, you got to bring her. Like, ain't no man be like, I'll go for her. Ain't no Captain Americas no more. Yeah. Like I said, it's not just men that's in the truth. It's the vibration. It's the vibe of the world right now. And all the while, we're still proclaiming, you still got to go. Like, you still got to go. There is no escaping it. Because the Lord said what? That's why you keep reading it, because he said multitudes. Bring them. The harvest is ripe. It's time. The Lord, when the harvest is ripe, you gotta hurry up and pick the fruit. You can't just keep leaving it there, because what ends up happening, it becomes a bad fruit.
Second Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears.
Hey, they've been doing it, right? Because for a certain part, for a long period of history, it was all about agriculture. It was about trying to build up your economy through agricultural, economics. But as of late, I remember hearing about like in the 90s, but I don't know if it started before that, but I know like in the 90s, you had the whole arms war, the arms race. You had a lot of countries that were like putting most of their economic, I guess their money into the military. That's what they were using all their funding for. They took fees into getting a better, bigger, and more advanced technological military arsenal. For what purpose? So they all kept saying, "Oh, we're not doing this. We don't want to go to war. We don't want to. We're trying to do peace." But you saying these things, but the actions are doing completely different. And it's ultimately, once again, because this is the Lord's movie. You got to proclaim this among the Gentiles, prepare war. So you're preparing war while saying that you don't want to go. Like even that you had the whole thing with Obama with the Iran, the peace treaty. That lasted literally his reign, and then it got thrown out the window. So like you thinking, that things are gonna get better. It's gonna be more peaceful amongst the Iran and America, and then maybe peace in the Middle East, X, Y, and Z. Literally that lasted for 3 or 4 years, and then Trump came and tore that shit up, and then now hell breaking loose.
And why they can't do shit?
They can't do it.
50 Cent went on Twitter, I think, and he said, yo, he said something to Biden. He's like, yo, where your ass at or something like that, yo. Yeah, he was in the Beatles song. He's like, yo, wake your ass up, like, what the fuck, like, nigga, all hell breaking loose or something. Like, we about to go to war. And he said, things are not okay. Where the fuck you at? Like, nigga, scriptures tell you, woe unto you that run to Egypt for help, bro. Like, this is a time where a lot of niggas are about to start waking up to the reality of, damn, this ain't good for us. It doesn't look like America cares about its people. We've been telling you that. We've been saying that. Since day one, we've been telling you, the prophet's been telling you, you're in a country that does not side on you, on your behalf. Okay? Everything they plan, everything they do is against you. You just don't see it like that. But when the time comes, you're gonna be like, oh shit, but it's gonna be too late. Your oh shit moment means that what? The shit is actually hitting the fan. You don't get to see it, you get to be it. You know what I'm saying? Now you're in the point where it's like, damn, I'm looking for help. There's no help. You know what I'm saying? It's over. This is the end. This is the beginning of the end for a lot of people here in America. It's over.
The whole shit hitting the fan concept. We're in the room telling you, yo, shit is about to hit the fan. Like we outside the room. Like yo, shit about to hit the fan. Y'all get out. There's gonna be shit all over the place. Y'all gonna be all covered in shit. Y'all be all covered in feces. Dumb, right? But they're not listening, right? But once it actually hits the fan, that's when you'll be like, oh shit. But it's already too late at that point. You all in it. You all in it. But it's all you all in it now. So like, oh shit. Remember what I was talking about? Number 2? He was like, this shit all over the walls. that's what's gonna be. Like everywhere you look, you just gonna be in a bad case, in a pitiful case.
Hey, that's why Micah, the 7th chapter, it says that this shall be what? Trodden underfoot, like as the mire of the streets. That's like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the video that we saw earlier, he's like, put it up. He's like, when the shit splash in your face, is when you're about to say something.
some of it might get into your mouth, nigga. You know what I'm saying? All that shit talking that you do, all that shit going. The Lord gonna get you, man. What's that? Galatians 6 and 7. The Most High is not mocked. And a lot of people have been mocking the Lord and his prophets, man. And it's that time, bro. Trust me, you're gonna see some shit.
Yeah, my makers were back on the war stuff because like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, when they said they put a couple thousand Marines on the Israeli coast, that's not something that's like not something that's not a joke. That's not like, oh, that's for no reason. Like, let's just do it, just do it. They're doing it because they know something's like that. That's why he said prepare war. Tell them prepare war. When you prepping something, you're gonna cook it. He want to cook all these heathens. That's in that same chapter he said he's gonna judge all the heathen around about. In that great day, and we visit. So, you know,
So really, the Most High do it all.
right.
We talking about pray. That's the thing. A lot of people get wrong is they try to pray to the Lord, right? To the Lord. You know? and that's why you said it falls on deaf ears. Because the Most High says, this is what I'm going to do. And you pray to the Lord, Lord, please, God, I need you to not do that. That's not going to happen. That's why everything, you know, so we never miss, we always hit because we're always going in the same direction as what the Lord is going. Right. You know, exactly. We're going with the flow. We're telling you, no, this is what's going to happen. Not because we're making it happen, because like you said, if we weren't here, it's still going to happen. The only difference is we're telling you before it happens. You know, and that's a beautiful thing. You know, because for the Lord to select you to say, look, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. What's the first thing the prophet does when they wake up to be the prophet? They get themselves right, and then they go out there and they do the work, so that you can get right.
Unclean lips, and then you gotta purify his lips. And then he started sinning. Then he went to the, then he back and he went to sin.
Ran back. 1 Samuel 3 and 18. And Samuel told him every whit and hid nothing from him. And he said, it is Yahweh. Let him do what he seemeth good. Even then, Eli going off, and Lord sent Samuel to tell him because his sons were going off and he was rallying them in, you know, disciplining them. And even Eli, even though he was being wicked, even he had to admit, hey, let the Lord's will be done. What seems good unto him, he's going to do. You know?
See, one thing about the Most High is he takes his time. You know, the Most High doesn't rush to do anything. Even if he says he's going to do it quick, he doesn't rush to do anything. So to us, we feel like, I think if Lucas says, will he bear long with them? You know, because the Most High says, look, from the beginning, I created this script. It's going to happen exactly this way. You know, you just got to just have a bit more patience, because I'm not going to rush. All right, I'm the one in control. So everything we're seeing now is the Most High saying, all right, now it's time to put this here, it's time to put that here, it's time for this to happen here, it's time for that to happen over here. Remember, the Most High is seeing the whole board, and he's controlling this side and that side. He's playing chess with himself. You know, we are on the board. So sometimes you may be looking over here, something happens, oh shit, MOTV, Lasani alarms, MOTV. And as you're doing it, oh, what's that? Oh shit, hey brother, sound that alarm. So that's why the Lord got us round about, right? If you read Isaiah 62:6, it says, I set up watchmen upon thy walls. You're not gonna put all 50 watchmen in one direction facing right here. That's the dumbest setup ever. You're gonna have watchmen round about the city. So one over here, one over there, one over there. There you go. Cover the ground. So that's why, like, a brother may do a lesson on this, then another brother do a lesson on that, then another brother do a lesson over here. Then some brothers are doing responses to that. You know, spreading it. So we're literally being watchmen.
Second Ezra 8, verse 61. It says, and therefore is my judgment now at hand. These things have I not shown unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee. Then answered I and said, behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders, which thou wilt begin to do in the last times, but at what time thou hast not showed me. Second Ezra 9:1. He answered me, because it's conversation. He answered me and said, then it said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told you before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which you make. And that's that's what we're doing. The watchmen are upon the post, and we are measuring the times based off of the signs that the Lord told us. Same thing Yahweh said. Everything I told you before, the Holy Spirit will bring it back to your remembrance. It's not just, it's been from the beginning. Remember, it says the holy prophets that have been from the beginning of the world. So these are the things that the Lord kept telling the prophets over and over. They eventually made the book of remembrance, the ones that spake off the ones to remember, called upon his name and prayed. They made the book of remembrance. So you must always remember this time. A certain time is going to come at the latter end that this is when it's going to all connect all together. Because Ezra, he couldn't connect everything that happened. Like, he didn't see everything that John said. John couldn't connect what we see right now. He wrote it, but he didn't know how to actually was. But it was on the latter end where all the signs that the Lord created for us to use as the way to go blow the trumpet, now it's all connected. Because this is the time where the Lord is visiting the affliction.
It's beautiful that you read it from the ending of the 8th to the beginning of the 9th, because it said that you're showing me the things that you're going to do at the end. But you didn't tell me when you're going to start doing these things. So the angel told him, well, measure the time diligent. When you see a part of the signs, you're going to know that that's the time when I'm going to start doing all these things. So when we started seeing a part of these signs, that's why we say, like Yahweh Shai said, this generation shall not pass till all be fulfilled. Because really, these major end time prophecies are all tied one to another. You know, they're like hooked to another. So one ain't gonna happen, and then another one happen like, you know, randomly at another. No. One is connected to each other. Exactly, it comes all together. It's a time. Exactly.
That's why Nebuchadnezzar's dream, the way it happened, the different empires, they all were connected. Like, even though it was one statue, but the head was connected to Babylon. That was connected to the Persian and Medes. The head Babylon wasn't connected to the toes, because it was going to be the Persian and Medes that were going to be the ones that took down Babylon, and then after Babylon, after the Persian Medes, then you had the Greeks and so on and so forth. So, like I'm saying, it's all connected. And now we're at the end of the 10th, like we have to close, so there's no more after this. This is the Lord said, in the days of these kings, I'm gonna set up a kingdom. We are in the days of the 10 toes kingdom. Remember, when did NATO actually become not a nation, became the organization? I think it's like in the 40s, right? That's not that long ago. That happened after the second World War, right? So that wasn't that long. You still got people that was alive during the time of the creation of the beast. And the Lord said, in the days of these kings, that's when I'm going to set up a kingdom. But first, what I got to do, I got to bring my prophets out. I got to bring them out at the latter end to prophesy about the downfall of this kingdom. It's all connected.
I'm going to say, someone said that NATO, because I was looking at something, because they mentioned the UN peacekeeper or something. And they was like, with all the stuff going on right now, and the Hamas and all, they was like, they went to them, they haven't come up with like a solution or whatever they suggested they could do. And I looked up when that was established, that was established in 1945. So it's funny how a lot of things and this setup is like revolved around either a little before or after the creators got into that land. And that's only 75 years ago, so do the math. But that's why the Lord said the wicked reigned for a short time. That everything was a short time. I mean, not Esau's kingdom, but like this chain of his kingdom, like this last end of his kingdom was short. Yeah, the last leg. Yeah, the last leg, exactly.
Yep.
Back in Joel 3 in verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears.
So right now, what do you think these nations are investing in? You know, they're making deals with each other so they can build bigger agricultural fields, you know, and build greenhouses? No. Okay. Farming secrets. No. All right. They're worried about defense missiles. You know, they're worried about offense. What the hell is the U.S. doing over there? I did a lesson on this. I said these people are hilarious. They said everybody else stay out. Ain't nobody joining me. Y'all can't join in here either, right? Let us be between Amalek and Hamas, but we gonna join Amalek. As a matter of fact, we going over there to go set up a CENTCOM and these THAAD missile systems over there. But nobody else can join. But we gonna come in and we gonna help Amalek. kind of shit? What you think these other nations look at the U.S. like this nigga, right? Yeah, the audacity, right? That's what they're doing over there. So they're not investing in home life, materials. They're investing in warlike materials because we're in a time of war. What's that? Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. There's a time. Right now we're in the time of war. And after the time of war, it's going to come the time of peace. But remember that everything is a balance, right? Like King David's rulership and then King Solomon's rulership. So the peace that's coming is going to be an eternal peace, which means that, which we have never seen the likes thereof. So the destruction prior to that has to be an eternal, well not eternal, but a very devastating destruction, and we haven't seen the likes thereof. It tells you that Joel, the 2nd chapter, that the like of these missiles, there's not going to be any like this after it's used. Okay, so this is going to be the heaviest destruction there's ever been, prior to the heaviest, form of peace that there's ever been. It's all a balance.
The actual most destructive weapon on earth right now, and it's spiritual because the Lord had what came out over the summer, Oppenheimer. And they showed that part with some knives, I become deaf. So it looked like telegraphed it. Like, oh yeah, as soon as that happened, then a couple months, 2 months later, then you have the whole, this whole war broke out, and nuclear talk is now speaking to each other. And what was Oppenheimer? He was a 48. So it's literally, the end is literally coming from you. And the words, like, it's a little bad, but this is just the actual whole movie. When you put it in the spirit of Esau to create a movie, that's like Esau tries to play God. He created a movie to show what the actual end. Remember, the Lord said, "I created the smith that blows the trump, the coals." Right? So he made Esau create this movie to show this is what's going to be the actual the weapon used to bring your end. I gave you the sword, and this is the sword that you're going to actually destroy your whole self.
This, and ultimately, all this stuff ends with this. There's a book of Malachi, chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly, shall be stubble."
When you think about a day that comes that burns like an oven, you had a lot of wars in the world, right? I think that Isaiah 9 and 6, 9 and 5, but you never had a war that involved nuclear atomic bombs dropping simultaneously everywhere. Like, that's an actual day that is going to literally be hot as hell. And I was talking to the brother too, I was like, y'all remember when like the wildfires happened in the West Coast? Did I mention that to y'all too? And then the smoke came all the way over here, you didn't see it. That was just from fire, forest fire, right? The scripture says that the day of the Lord is dark. So if you got roots dropping everywhere, they're literally the smoke from it can block out the sun everywhere on the earth. And you just have your Yahushua appear, brightness. That's why he said that, because I think you mentioned before, if everywhere is dark and there's a light, everybody can see you. That's your Yahushua. That's why all eyes shall see me. I'm gonna make this whole place dark. I'm gonna make this whole place dark, and I'm gonna come back. Light, bright. What is that? Beam up, y'all. The indignation. Rise from the indignation. Let the indignation pass for a little moment. Everybody sees me. I'm him.
That's it. That's it.
Everybody's gonna see that. I come from the east, they gonna see him traveling. You gonna come from the east. Who is this that coming from Basra? Oh! I'll show you That's right! That's what it is. That's the day of the Lord. Right. That's what it is, man. That's the whole world. That's what it said. All eyes shall see him. All nations shall melt because of him. Their heart, they going, well, because what is this? It's dark. Everybody not gonna die. Babylon is gonna be hit. Everybody, but they gonna see him. This is the coming of the Messiah, the coming of Yahushua.
And what comes from that, the kings of the earth shall shut their mouths. Everybody gonna shut up.
Yeah.
And you know it has to be great and marvelous, because it's something that even people in the world use as a term, like, oh, calm down, it's not the end of the world. Well, this is the end of the world. You know, oh, calm down. This is not the second coming. You're acting all, oh, he's like the second coming. Like, it's a thing. Like, people, even in sports.
Something real bad.
Yeah, like, oh, he's like the second coming of blah, blah. Well, the second coming is Yahushua. He's coming back. You know? Like I always say, Deus ex machina. He's that unstoppable, immovable machine that just pops in the middle of the scene and says, we're changing the whole course of nature now. We're changing the whole course of history because of that one man. That one man that the whole world, society runs based on him. Time is calculated based on him. That one man, his return is not.
But what did it say? Woe to you that desire the day of the Lord. People always say that because when they say, "Oh, the second coming of Christ," right? They got the Lord. They don't know what they're talking about. They're coming from the scriptures, but they don't know what they're actually talking about. Oh, I just want to make it to see my Savior. Like, woe to you that desire the day of the Lord. So what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Like, you really about to see what's about to happen when the Yahushua returns.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
Yeah, this is Psalm chapter 18.
31 says, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet.
So you gotta think about it. It's gonna be dark, and then you want to hear the sound, like trumpet sound. We more willing to be there. We know what that sound is for, but that's gonna be like a still. You hear a big trumpet blown
Out of
nowhere, and it's gonna like the whole earth is gonna hear it. Remember, it says it's gonna be a great quake too. And like how was gonna sound. You don't hear that? Like, oh! But this is dark though. Remember, the cloud said they ain't gonna give us light. So it's just dark. You hear that? Oh, yeah, we gotta get out of here. This is we gotta get taken up. Like they're gonna send his angels to gather up his light. But everybody else is gonna have to feel the wrath. Not everybody's gonna die, but everybody's gonna be. The people that don't die, that's gonna be like I always say, that's gonna be in your DNA. That's like a DNA change. That's shell shock for eternity. Like you're gonna have children. You're gonna tell your children like it's like this day of the Lord happened. This is in everybody's mind.
Just like says it's forever in terms of a very long time, but the history, the thought of damn, this is what live on. It's gonna live on forever. Yeah, because if we're still talking about Egypt now, and the Lord said this destruction and salvation is going to be greater than what happened in Egypt, then we're going to be talking about this forever and ever. Because it's that time is the beginning of the rulership of the beginning of the rulership of the Israelites, the Yahushua and the Israelites. So it's going to be spoken of forever. When did this happen? Is when America got destroyed.
When did God start to live among us? How did that happen?
Genesis.
Yeah. When did the gods start to look? Oh, the gods. You know, they can Greek mythology.
Right.
Oh, what you ask the gods? Like, that's literally gonna be us. Like, oh, go pray to the gods. Maybe they will do this.
You can have bread today.
I'm gonna say because when Yahushua returned in the churches, like they don't really talk about the extent of like, damn, what is the Lord gonna do when he comes back? All the stuff the brother was saying, he's talking about the great day. Remember, the Lord said he's mad. He's not coming just to show his power. He's showing to show his power in judgment and wrath.
Show his power off.
Yeah, show his power off in the judgment and wrath of his anger. And remember, that's coming straight from the Father. Because the Yahushua is an express image of Yahweh. That's it. And he said he's waiting to come back. He's waiting. Like you know, like the cat like waiting to get busy. Like you know, like them goons and they waiting like right to the point, waiting to get busy for his Father. Anybody that first only he got a spirit, he's ready for action. He's already at the devouring fire. Think about that.
And part of the reason why he's angry, I know he also got killed. He got murdered. He got murdered by Edomites. Like he never got that off. That's why you never got touched. Remember, going back to Cain, he killed Abel. going back to Adam, he's the one that got Eve all fucked up from the beginning where he lost immortality.
Man, smoke with
He ain't never get to touch, even as Solomon, he didn't even get to touch Esau because he was in peace. So he been saving wrath for you. That's what who it is that coming from Esau and the
First
Edom.
one he came from.
I tried in the wine press alone. There was none with me. Like, yo, I got smoke from you from the beginning. From the beginning, my nigga.
That's crazy.
I shall stain all my raiment. We talking about the greatest Jake. You know when Jake get mad, they always say, oh, angry black man. We talking about the greatest Israelite man that you done. Remember, he got beat when he had no sin. So he actually got killed, beat, ridiculed, and he was perfect. He's like, yo, I came in a perfect body. I came in committed no sin. And you did this to me? And he had to take it without saying nothing, too.
Sounds like Denzel from Training Day.
You gonna do this to me? God. Nah, bring it out.
Yeah, this is Psalm chapter 18, starting from verse 9. It says, he bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub, and did fly. Yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. So pretty much what the elders were saying, you know. And verse 12 says, at the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed, hailstones and coals of fire, right? So like the light from the chariot, the laser from the chariot, the beaming up of the elect, you know. Pretty much, you know.
I didn't say like it's funny because we call him a lamb. We know why he's a lamb, but like he ain't coming back as a lamb. That's why I should not meet thee as a lamb. But as you said to disciples, the same way you the same way he's back. Like you gonna know all I can see. I mean, he's not piercing. Like you gonna know who I am. Like you gonna know I'm looking like you killed me. And this is like you know like when you know when somebody's essence like yo like that's the vibe. That's the vibration of this man. You wanna know that same man that you did what you did over 2,000 years ago. He's back on the earth now, but he completely glorified me. And you gotta deal with it.
You just said that, it just hit me in the head. Like, Yahushua's image is not something that's never been seen before on this earth. Like, the being that's coming back to this earth is not something that we see as an ordinary thing here. Neither has man ever seen before. This is not a regular human being coming back. He's coming back. That's why the Apostle John said, "What's that?
He ain't even human.
Exactly, because he was already in his glorified state. When John saw him in the book of Revelation, he was already in his glorified state. That's why the Apostle Paul said that he's going to come back. He said with power and with great glory. You don't get that as a regular person. There ain't no regular human being on this earth coming out with power and great glory. You got to be in a different element. And that's why the Apostle John also saw that he said that we don't know what he's going to look like, but we know we're going to be like him when he makes his return. That in and of itself alone is something to, this is just the grandeur, the power, the essence, the overwhelming, glory. Like, who is this? Like, like, what is this? Hey, quick one. I'm going to finish off in Malachi. Yeah, no, I'm going to pass it over to you. So going back to Malachi 4 and verse 1, it says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day, it says, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it may leave them neither root nor branch. That's a complete and total annihilation. There's nothing left. Like Ezra, when he saw it, he perceived was what? Smoke and what? What's that? Dust and smell of smoke. And when he saw it, when he was afraid, okay, he was afraid. What's going to happen to this earth? The interaction between this power coming down and the people of this earth going up there again, blasted, coming back down, and seeing the events, it's just scary. Okay, real.
Because it said that they're still going to try to fight it. Why everything is still in that chaotic state of darkness, they're still going to try to hit it. So you imagine you see just smoking this bright entity that's not, you said it's not human. I mean, he's human, but he ain't man like regular mortal man. It's like, yo, you gotta go try to fight that?
He's immortalized. He's not. Yeah, like.
But on the same thing, it said that we didn't lift up the sun or nothing against the fire king of the gods and y'all.
Jerry, that's like the movie scenes where like the plane flies into that dark ass cloud and all you see is the turbulence and shit, and then all of a sudden something just boom, just snatches that shit in half. That's how they're gonna see them angels. They're gonna be getting down on them too. You know? Okay, imagine that. So many chariots. I mean, there's gonna be so many chariots filling up the skies all over the world. You know, because remember, we're talking. Imagine how big the world army is gonna be, because that's what the angels are gonna fight against. It's not just gonna be Russian army, the U.S. army. It's gonna be the world army.
China got a million.
Yeah.
A billion.
So that's why the Lord's coming with thousands of heavens.
The armies of heaven.
Yeah. That's going.
Michael and the angel about to get him up out of there.
Hebrews said innumerable angels, like innumerable angels. I think that was in Hebrews. Said there's a innumerable company of angels.
Yeah. So that's what the Lord's coming with. Can you actually imagine what that? So that's really the real war of Armageddon, because that the armies of the world is a lot. You want to talk about innumerable? That is a lot of people. So imagine the angels in the heavens, the armies on here, the fighter jets, all their projectiles they can possibly think of. They're hypersonic missiles, Satan missiles, all of them things. And there's already footage of chariots up in the air where they shot missiles at it, and they was like this molten thing, and then they just boom, like the shooting out that. Yeah, just hang like four of them, just up in the air. And they shot the rockets at it, and the smoke cleared it. The chariots were just still there, unfazed. You know?
You know what's so great about the Lord? Because he's so like, he does, you have like, you can see Russians, their fighter jets, right? Like you can see what they look like, how the designs are like China's or whatever. The Lord shows the chariots, but he don't show them all the time to like in their fullness of greatness. And you know that there's obviously multiple different types of chariots. You got the silos ones, you got the round ones, you got the triangular ones, but you got other ones that you probably ain't even ever seen before. The Lord not gonna show you his arsenal, all of it. Yeah. Like you ain't gonna see when you see the Hawashai chariot, that's the end of it. Like that's it. Yeah.
That's why
Second Esdras, I'm going to read that, but I'm going to jump. Second Esdras chapter 13, verse 1, it says, And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard the voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. Going back to Malachi 4, the day that burned like an oven. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So it says from the four winds. So they're going to come from every part of the earth. It's not going to just like how the brother says, it's not going to come just from like Russia. They're going to come from every angle. Remember, South America, they got military as well. America's going to be done, but America's already moving all of their military to the Middle East. You got still some stateside, but a lot of their stuff is other places. They got them in the EC where China's at. They got bases a lot. They got bases everywhere else. So although America land might be done, we're still gonna have American armies elsewhere.
Thinking they have to get escape.
I want to jump now down to verse 27. It says, and whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor instrument of war, but that with the rushing, where is it? Verse 29. It says, behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon earth, and shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another.
So pretty much, just like we've been saying, this is pretty much going to be war on every front, you know. But the key part right there is one realm against another, because the one main realm is going to be the heavenly realm versus this terrestrial realm. That's not even going to be a war. That's why I said, as we saw the missiles, the lasers come down and then there was nothing there, just like that, you know. So that's not the Yahushua is coming. This war is going to happen for the story's sake. But it's not really going to be a war. It's really going to be a show-off of what found it. Yeah.
He allowed Pharaoh to be able to do certain things, like they changed the snake to, but it got to a point, I forgot exactly what plague it was, to where the sun, right? Huh? Was it the sun or before that?
Nah, there was something else.
It was like the royal, where they was like, yo, we can't fuck with this. Like, what we got, we can't do nothing with that. And the Lord didn't just let him off of that. He was like, I got more. I got more. Matter of fact, I'm bring my death energy. And then I'm bring my son. This is Wisdom of Solomon said the Almighty Word leaped off the throne. And he came and did what he did. And that wasn't even a grand finale. But look how devastating it is. Not one house, there was not a cry in Egypt. And it was darkness that was happening also. The Lord brought that. So, hey, the Lord, it's funny because it says the Lord is light, but he's surrounded by darkness because he is the light. Right. So you don't need light when you're the Lord. I'm the light. I'm just make everything dark, and then you're gonna see me.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Right, like, yo, can you imagine, like, like, Yahweh just was, like, that's like I am, like, yo, it's just him.
And that's why he made his son to be what? He said he's the express image.
Yes.
Like, this is me if you can see me. This is me if you can see me. But you can't see me. But this is me if you can see me. Ooh. That don't even make any sense.
It's crazy, bro.
It's mind blowing. Where is it at? Verse 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I shewed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another, and an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be shewed to all men. Who's that? That's the elect. Zion's going to be shown. The elect of Israel, they're going to be shown, was that second chapter? Yep. That's when all men are going to see who is Zion, who is my memorial. That's what Zion means. Zion, my memorial. Yep. You know. So the whole earth is going to see. Right now, you see people passing, they don't see Zion being shown. They just see a bunch of things. But the Lord said, in every man that keepeth shame of these things. For doing what? For declaring my name. Who stays so stiffly for the men that profess. That's how the whole earth is going to see. These are the sons of God. These are my people. It says verse 5, 6. It says, and signs shall become and shall be shewed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest a hill graven without hands. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. And he shall destroy them without labor by the law which is like unto me.
It says that ultimately, because it says that who is this guy? Yeah, and then I think there's a father's I that they yeah, and then one about something right there you go. It is one that says he made forward righteousness. You know? That's right. That's why he says he's going to punish their wicked inventions, because he's going to use that fire as a destruction. But he's really coming to make righteous war. You know, because this war is going to be won to set things right, because this is a wicked society. So when he brings that destruction, it's going to punish them for all the wickedness that they have committed. Because really, they've broken all the laws. Right. You know?
Isaiah 13:9. Behold, the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai cometh, cool, both with wrath and fierce anger.
The thing is all going to happen in a day. Like that, the missile sign and the Lord's return and our deliverance is all going to happen in one day. Like that.
Yo,
Like,
he's so demon. Because what does he do? He makes us remember days, right?
Yeah.
We gotta remember, never forget 911. Oh, the cost that was hollow, huh? Titanic, like Independence Day. We gotta remember all these days that really is just for you and your glory. So the Lord He's gonna do away with all of that. And one day, that's gonna be like it's gonna be forgotten. You're not gonna even where the scripture talks about it should no more be said that the Lord lived that brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Like we're not gonna forget it, but it's gonna be that deliverance is gonna be so minute compared to what the Lord does out of this place. That because that day is gonna be where He is declared. That's why I said then shall my son be declared. Yahweh Shai wasn't declared during the time of Egypt. He was there, but he wasn't declared as like Yahweh Shai, the Son of God, the Messiah. This is my king. Like he's coming to declare his throne, to take his throne. And he's gonna do that in a very dramatic fashion. Remember, everything belongs to him. The animals are gonna get it. Like that's gonna be in there. Like that day ain't gonna forget that either.
And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine.
Nothing is going to happen in its ordinary way. Because what the sun gives us light. But when the day of the Lord comes, everything is going to be halted. You know, and to make way for His presence. Let it be known that this is the day that the Lord came back and visited the earth. You know, the day that the Lord visited the earth. I mean, can you believe that? Shit.
He visited. He stayed.
Yeah, he stayed. He took over.
The day the earth stood still. Like this is the day that this is the day that the Lord has made. This is the church. Yeah. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. But they ain't gonna be glad in this one. Nah, only reason why we're gonna be glad, we're gonna be scared as well. But that's why the Lord had to change us quick in the twinkling of an eye, because we was able to actually stay seeing that in this flesh. We'll be done too. We're like, oh, we got you up real quick. Let me change.
I'm about to get nasty.
So I'm about to get nasty. Yeah. You got to give us a whole body to actually be able to endure seeing that. Being on the stuff, staying on the glass, being able to see that. Like, yo, I got to change you about this so you can see what I'm about to do.
Yeah. That's going to be the final piece in the third temple, the building of it. That's going to be the completion when He changes our bodies. Because at that point, we're going to have the laws and everything in our inward parts. You know, we're going to be perfect.
And that's the final witnessing.
Yeah.
Because the scripture says that you are my witnesses. That's what prophets are. Like we're testifying. I, John, testify these things. That's going to be the final witness of the end of this age. We got to witness Yahweh Shai get down and not be partakers of it.
I was gonna say, I don't know if brother saw it. In December, there's a Netflix movie coming out, apocalyptic movie called "Leave the World Behind." And in the trailer, it's Ethan Hawke and another Edomite woman. They get knocked on the door, and the people that come deliver the message that the world is ending is Jake. That's really spiritual. I've not seen that.
They just put it out there. It's like,
I was thinking real quick that the day of the Lord, when they fighting all that, and then Yahushua and all that returns, you gotta think about how many what the fuck is gonna be said by these soldiers and these mighty ones. You understand what they're gonna say? This is something nobody's seen before. And they remember, they could be cats that wasn't really trained in war and all, they just joined the military, just didn't know what I'm saying, or they were drafted. Like when the Lord comes back, they're gonna be like, yo, what the fuck is that? They're gonna remember, it's gonna be a sound. You're gonna see sight. Everybody's gonna tremble. Everybody's gonna tremble. They said they're gonna run to the into the dens and they're gonna run. I mean, all that. But what do you think of the day of the Lord? They said it's gonna be scary. It's terrible, gloomy, distress.
They have thick clouds.
Yeah.
Like thick. Once again, the cloud. If you have a thick cloud, it can make like right now. Like the sun is out, but it blocks it, and it got a little bit dimmer. That's not even a thick cloud. Like well, look what it did.
We saw with the clouds one from Canada. And they had
Oh, yeah, but it changed the color like the smoke.
Or it turned
Even
like orange.
before it rains, even when the cloud gets
It gets real dark.
exactly dark. Exactly.
But it gets really dark when it's like really about to be a real downpour.
Right. Precipitation goes.
And that's not cloudless, because smoke cloud, like clouds from smoke, like fire, is very thick. That's like a. That's why the Lord said, like, yo, like smoke came down when you came down from the. It's like I'm just a fire, so it's like everything gotta feel the sun. You're gonna be smoke involved. I'm a consuming fire.
And you know it's crazy too, because like when you look at the clouds sometimes dissipate. Smoke is like you could run through smoke and it will still just join right back. It's like it takes a lot more. You know, when you go through smoke, you could run through smoke and it's still there. Sometimes you could smell it in there for too long. You know, but that goes to show you how thick the smoke is. It can suffocate you, right? So imagine how toxic this Western world would be. So the Most High is super toxic, really. You know what I'm saying? You know, he can't be known as the Most High if he's not on the spectrum of toxic. He ain't all the way up there. You know what I'm saying? But the concept of toxic comes from the Heavenly Father. All right, and America's going to feel that because that's been the theme. Most Americans are toxic, so there's going to be something that's going to have to, you know, bring that toxicity out of your ass. it has to be something else that's way more toxic than you. You know, to show you that you ain't nowhere. Exactly, that fire, that purging. You know, that besom of destruction. Okay, that's it.
Isaiah 13:11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity.
So nobody can complain because it's a punishment. Right? Lord ain't just get up and say, I'm just doing this for fun. Nah, it's a punishment for their evil and their iniquity. See, and that's why we waiting for the Lord to fulfill these prophecies. I'm just put it like that because you're doing wickedness. Everything here is wickedness. That's why we're constantly complaining. And then when the Lord brings judgment, you're crying as though like, oh, the worst thing is happening in the world. The worst thing that was happening was the wickedness in the world. The Lord is bringing the cure.
It's just a paycheck for your work you've done. You gotta get paid. You know what I'm saying? Nobody works for free.
We're the union. We're advocating.
Yeah, we're advocating, bro. Like you gotta get paid for all the work you've done on this earth. You saw? You know what I'm saying? So now the Lord's gonna give you that payment. It's gonna be a nice little severance package. Real nice.
Yeah, everybody gonna get it.
Yeah, you've been fired from your post. You're not the king no more. You know, the Lord comes back, the Yahushua comes back, he's looking at the earth, he's like, what the fuck is this? And then he lets off that roar, you know? And he's like, okay, now we gotta take these niggas out, imprison them, get them up out of here. They done destroyed my whole entire work that I did. You know? Get them up out of there. You know? And now you gotta get paid, your severance package, you gotta go.
I was shy gonna have a nice dose of death for him. You know, I'm gonna have a dose of death. And that's gonna be your prescription. That's gonna be the cure for wickedness. Take this dose of death for all in the morning. Yeah. Slavery of that.
Hey, even I think in Matthew 25th chapter, I'm reading it, Matthew 25 verse 41, it says, then shall he say unto them on the left hand, depart from me, cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. So we talking about preparation, prepare war. Well, this day was prepared for the devil and his angels. Who's the devil? Who's the old serpent? Once again, going back to Adam, like the Lord has been ready to have us sit down on my right hand till I make thy enemies thy footstool. Who was the number one enemy?
Because
It's been you demons. It's been you
tied
devils.
around
You
us there.
Edomites.
Yeah,
And then you got all the earth drunk, even some of our people. You made even Israel enemies to the Most High. With your sorcery, with your fornication. You got the Lord brought out all the prophets, but our people are just so defiled by the wickedness and the sorcery, the witchcraft that you done put out. Like they can't hear it. They can't get sober up. You got them too drunk. To the point where now they're enemies of the Lord, so they gotta feel the fire that's prepared for you. This day is prepared for you. That's why it started, Malachi, He said Esau is not Esau, Jacob, but I hated Esau and I love Jacob. And then he goes down to the fourth, that's the first chapter, second and third verse, I believe. The fourth verse, it said the day that shall come that's burning as an oven. It's still talking about the same day, going back to the fourth chapter. Yeah, it's talking about the same. That day is going to be because of what? The border of wickedness, whom the Lord said He has indignation forever against. Now He's about to manifest this day that has been prepared for you.
The Lord isn't forgetting.
Hey, ultimately, he said what? That because of the violence against our brother Jacob. You see what I'm saying? So there's got to be, who's Jacob? Shit. And remember the discussion we had that they put an innocent life to death. According to the law, you can't do that. So you effed up big doing that. He was a man without sin, and you put him to death. What was the cause for him being put to death? What sin did he commit to have a judgment worthy of death like that?
And I think there's a scripture I can't remember where the Jews were saying like, no, we can't put him to death. You gotta get the order to do it. And that's when he was talking to Pontius. I find no fault with him, but you still did it. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
How did the devil sort of know it's innocent and you try the devil to put the words of devil? That's why it says they're more wicked than the wicked. Damn. And you knew the law that you weren't supposed to somebody that was innocent to death. And even the devil who ain't know your laws, them Romans, they ain't know our laws. You know, they said as you. But just the Jews didn't have the power to instill capital punishment like that. Right. Yeah, that's why they have to go through a Roman. It's like today, you can't. I mean, like for example, you could bring judgment on a brother, say, hey, you kicked out or you did some of that, but you can't bring the judgment in the scriptures upon somebody over here today. Because guess what's gonna happen to your ass? You're gonna be under the jail. I'm sure not gonna save you. So like they need to go to the court system. If somebody committed murder, to have them deal with that. Yeah.
And that's what they did. So you killed Yahushua. The violence against thy brother Jacob. I mean, it started with, it's a whole nation, but it starts with Yahushua.
Everything now is about, like, these last days is more faith-based. Back then it was like judgment could be brought forth, and now we have to just wait and be patient. Like Brother Martin just said, try to take it into your own hands. The Lord is gonna punish you because you're not having the faith to know that He's gonna do the work.
And that's you taking the vengeance from the Lord, from your house. That vengeance belongs out of all of the anger that we got is not comparable to what your house got. So he got the most anger. He got the most, and he has the most reason. Like none of us can say like, yo, I ain't deserve that. None of us can say that. There's no flesh on the earth right now that I did not deserve that. And when you feel like that's something that you didn't deserve, that's something you feel. You're not like it's a very hard feeling. Like, there you go. Like, I know I didn't do that shit. But Yahushua literally can say that shit. And he still got it. The worst. Like, you got it.
Alright. So, alright. So, this is Hebrews chapter 12. I'm starting at the top. It says, wherefore seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who would have joined us.
You can't, we literally, unless the Lord gives every single Israelite man a certain power, like we wouldn't actually be able to sustain for a long period of time.
That's what Yahushua said. If you have the day, you'll come over and say it. So
it's fine too.
Oh, we're almost there, man. I mean, already. I was going to say that really the wait list is before it comes out. You know, the wait is before the actual prophecy comes up. But once it's here, we're here. Every single day you wake up, you can rejoice in the fact that, yo, it's out. You know what I mean? Like, all we're waiting for now is just the missile supply and we're gone. Like, you don't need to wait for this to now happen. We're here. Once they make that element to be mandatory, that's when you're going to see all hell breaking loose, because
it's more of a reaction that people are gonna have. It's like all of a sudden you wake up and your bank is saying one thing, your job is saying another. You know, you're not allowed to go somewhere. It's like all of a sudden, what the hell is going on? People are gonna remember you own nothing and you'll be happy. That MOTV being put in place, you have to own nothing in order for them to actually get you in there. So your food, your access to anything is taken away. The natural reaction is bug the fuck out. These people here are conditioned to bug the fuck out when they don't get what they want. It's like spoiled rats. A whole bunch of kids have been handed everything. iPhone, I this, I that, I that. So everything is given to you easy. But most Americans don't know how to live life without electricity for 24 hours. Their phones are not working for 24 hours, they're gonna go crazy. So imagine not having access to all these things that you normally have access to. People are gonna bug the hell out.
But see, if they can use that as a reason to get the people. They can also bring it out and then do that to the chaos enough that they can put people like this point, you know, we say because it just takes one catastrophe. There's one event. And that event is really when the Lord says go ahead. Whatever you use it to starting, he says go ahead. That's what we're waiting.
Everything is so interconnected that one piece is taken out, the whole thing functions. That's what Esau failed to realize. He tried to get the power of earth in his hand. He tried to create globalization and have like him being God to have omnipotency through technology, omnipresence through technology. Well, there's a negative side to it. There's a benefit for things not being connected. There's a benefit for there being fragmentation of things. But when you try to connect everything together, and you unwoven one string out, it all falls down. House of cards. And that's what it is. It's a house of cards. It's Jenga. Yep.
Isaiah 13 and 11, and I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Yeah, so just like we were saying, the elites, that's the arrogancy of the proud. They're the most proud. That's why they're over there proclaiming. That's why Netanyahu just said that they're the children of light. But the scripture says that Satan can masquerade as a child of light. So, you know, he's saying he's fulfilling, I forget, something
Isaiah 13 chapter.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I'm like, you're not even an actual, like, orthodox. Yeah. It's like you're a political Israeli. But why are you not following the scriptures?
Now all of a sudden, because he wants to rile up the conservatives over there, Zionists, to go further with the agenda. You know, and he knows he's a devil. He's going to fill Isaiah 63, motherfucker. You're going to be on the bloody garments of the Lord, which is all symbolic. You're going to be a part of that. But you're not going to fulfill the part of the Israelites, because you ain't. You know, you are. Again, it says, I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. You're haughty, you're prideful. You know, and the Lord keeps elevating your pride. Just when you think, all right, yeah, they're about to bring that ceasefire. Now they're saying, nah, no ceasefire. Americans voted no. And America and Israel is basically synonymous. It's the same devils running the show. Because they like to say, well, how can America support this? Motherfuckers, the same devils running the same shit. You think they're trying to say, well, America's different. It's the same elites, Amalekites, devils that's running the show.
They said Biden administration is completely a lot of people that they, you know, you read the whole House of Cards, they've been infiltrated the government a long time ago. And then once they started out the Federal Reserve, that was like the end of it. That was like that's the house on top of it.
Yeah, there was a book called the Jewish Confederacy, and it shows you how the Confederacy was run by them. They were the ones that had the slave ships, you know, so they were really at the beginning of America, and here they are then, but they like to hide behind it. Like, no, that's not us, we're Israel, but that's you.
The chief of the nations. First of the nations.
Back in the book of Joel 3,
Hey man, these things are exciting. Man. I literally could be all day. You got something to do. I'm chilling right now. Like, this conversation, this whole conversation is good, man. Because it's like, yo, what else? Like, what else is there to really talk about? Like, what else is there really to talk about? Like, what we're talking about right now? Like, what? Like, we're talking about going to be like the greatest thing ever. Like the greatest. You can't even use the unspeakable joy that what people talk about. Like you know, I feel like saying greatest is not even giving them enough. Like it's not giving them enough.
It's too common. I was going to say with the connection as far as the Patricia I was thinking about the character Simon Stern and Howard. Remember, like he was just a businessman, sort of a property owner, right? He said something when because you know that's how Tariq went to the school he's in because Simon Stern or whatever. But Simon Stern said something to somebody in the college. He was like, cause he was like, what's the word? People that went there a long time ago. He like alumni. He was an alumni. He said something. He was like, yo, Simon Stern, something. And Simon Stern was like, because I'm having dinner with the commissioner tonight. If you got a problem with me being here, I was like, and that's just a small like businessman. So imagine the government what they infiltrated. Like these all got all these suits. They all connected, man. This is all the Zionist show. All of them, and they did not all have the same last name. Some Rothschilds could be up in it, but they don't have the last name Rothschild. They be changing it. You know what I'm saying? I want to say Bill Clinton is one. Yeah. Anybody like kind of in the political realm? The House of House, man, the seat.
You look into 9/11, all of the names surrounding it, those guys that basically they came out afterwards and admitted what they were doing, and it was like all the Zakheims and Goldbergs and you know what I'm saying? We'll take it down, mention that name, but at this point is you the double.
Speak for yourself.
48.
Back to the start was doing some comments, man.
Back in Joel 3:10, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come.
So for Iran to dish out a threat like that, you go back years ago, that would have been laughable. They'd be like, hey, what the hell you doing to you like that? You know? But now it's like, yo, why do you think the U.S. ain't done nothing to Iran yet?
Right,
we were talking about how they were on their list of countries to invade, right? But now the Lord has set it up. That's why Ezekiel 38 is very key, because Russia is that guard. Russia is there. And they already know that Russia's already in that zone. And they know that, look, if we step here, we're stepping on a trap. Because the second we touch Iran, everything is linked. We got our alliances, guess what? They got theirs too. And they have interest with Russia. Russia has interest with China, right? China has interest with these other nations through BRICS and all of that. So if it comes down to war, the lines are drawn. Trust and believe Turkey ain't gonna get on your side. You know?
And they got the largest standing military in Europe. Turkey. Yeah, the second largest. No, they have the largest one in Europe. But they have, not talking about Russia, talking about just like European. They have the largest in that region of Europe, and they have the second largest in NATO, because America was first. But you put Turkey, Russia, and then China, and then Iran, like, and on top of that, you military. They said that U.S. is running out of military equipment. So they're giving it to Ukraine, they're giving it to Israel. So they're running out of those things. A lot of things, if this escalates, when this escalates, they're going to start actually having people. They're going to take people, some people they're going to take to war, but then they're going to actually, they're saying that they might force people to actually work in factories to build missiles and do that. So there's going to be an actual draft to work as well. That actually happened, I forgot which war it was, I think it was World War II, where they had to actually have people work, stop all actual production of society, and you had to just start to like build military equipment. And that could be the way that brings in the MOTP too, because you're not just going to work, like, you're not going to be a banker, you're not going to be, working, college tech. You got to do this, right? Labor camps. And if that happens, then they can say, all right, we're going to get EDI.
universal basic income. You're paid for yourself, but we need to name a tax for all that because the market right now is not good. Banks not working, so this is how you're going to get paid. This is another way it could happen. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm saying they were making research and pretty much the railroads have these civil benefits to go through these manufacturing units to be to be issued that they can there's a lot of things that can be done right now. We're just paying people to not do anything. They're paying their rent, they're paying anything. But now, forget all that. You got to do something, give back, and then we'll give to you. That's pretty much what they're doing.
Back in Joel 3:11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens, and gather yourselves together round about, till the cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh.
And that's what the Lord is doing. He's gathering the people. All those nations over there, they know there might be Israelites that's there, but they don't represent Israel. They don't represent the seed of Jacob. So the Lord is literally gathering and that's spiritual because you got Esau over there, you got Moab, now you got over there. We're talking about being over there. You got Ishmael over there, you got Elam over there. Well, it could be more. Sure, Assyrians, yep. So you got all the heathen there, but there ain't no actual Israelites there. Like, we don't got our nation over there. Like, oh, yeah, we about to go over there and start some war too. So this is how you know, this is another indicator of all the heathens over there, but who are not the heathen? It's us. So they're gathering all the heathen to that region.
Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shabbat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
And it's like the Lord is literally like a magnet. Like he was drawing them in. Like, we gotta go over there. Like we gotta the Lord is like the angels like I can't come over here. It's like they hear the sound and they got it and they're forced to do it, they're forced to move. And we're over here proclaiming it, and they'll prepare war. Let the heathen be awakened, and they're awake now.
Nobody wants to, nobody
They're
wants
all
to go
saying
to
the
war.
same thing, right? But it's like they're like forced, they're being forced.
Oh, that's why we first to Allah outside.
Father Spirit.
All the earth is mine. Can't help but to do Lord's will.
Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, and the fats overflow.
The harvest is right. You go by. All of the 2nd and 50th chapter, the sinful works, wicked works are fulfilled. Right? The hurtful works are fulfilled. Revelation 15. Her sins are reaching to the heavens. The Lord has remembered her iniquity. Why does that happen? Because the Lord got the prophets sounding the alarm. He got us crying that though he bear along with us, but he said he's going to avenge us. You got the number that we have been waiting for is now accomplished. So what the Lord was doing, he just needed to seal the elect. Revelation 7 chapter. Seal, go back to 4 winds until I have sealed my name of our God and my son on the seal. 144, the children and gives a list. It didn't say everybody in the world. 112,000 from 12,000 So now the harvest is right. Now it's time for what needs to be fulfilled to be fulfilled. The reaping of the grapes.
Pulled out or
And what the college also you see the signs of the summer is nigh and it starts to bloom. You know very well that that's when all these things should be. If the harvest is only right during a particular time of the season, so it can't be changed. You can't say, oh, it's right now, but then it's not be right 10 years from now. It's not gonna be right no more. This is the actual season of the rightness. That's why I say, put it in the sickle. It's going to put it in there. Gather it up.
And then the sickle is what farmers use to harvest. Because it's like you have the stick and then you have the hook. You have the stick, the handle itself, and then you have the hook at the end of it.
Which is that sharp end.
Yes.
Scorpion got that.
Oh, yeah.
The sickle. That's what you have. The,
Get over here.
The Grim Reaper. And what they used to do is, like, let's say, like the tree grows and you have the fruits that bloom or whatever. So it's time to harvest. What the farmer does is, sometimes the trees are tall. You're not going to be climbing up going all the way to the top of all the fruits. So you use a sickle and you chop off the branch. So the whole thing falls with the cluster of fruits. And then you pick them up and then you do your thing with it. But if you just slice it, you get a nice little clean slice. And then the next season, real sharp. The next season you come about, that branch that you cut off has germinated and it grows new fruit on there. So they don't just shake it off and then take the fruits off. They cut the branch itself, with the sickle. So that's why it says to thrust the sickle in is actually a thing that they used to do back then. To actually, bring down the meat. Exactly.
Sometimes they don't use it to like green.
For their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision.
We know it's going to be a lot of great gathering over there. According to the scriptures. Multitudes, right?
I don't think you ever had that over there. World War II wasn't fought in that region. We've had fights in the region, but like they weren't gathered there to fight. This is where it's actually they're gathering to this region.
You tell the severity of this world, you can tell the severity of this. At least most can.
Because the theme of it is nuclear. Back then you had, the submarines, the U-boats, the dog fighters and all that. Now we're talking nuclear. Yeah, now they got drones, Right, exactly. With a press of a button. I think it was last week they were saying that Putin was seen with his nuclear briefcase in China. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit. So, we know, so we don't panic when we hear things like that. But anyone in the world, you'll see that, be like, oh, yo, what do you about to pop off? Not yet. You still gotta worry about the chip. That's it.
And look how quick they actually got to that point. From World War II, right at the time of World War I, that was a little bit, just a little bit of years ago. Right? 1914. So it wasn't even that long ago, but look how vast technology expanded within that short time. And then now they're actually talking about using these things that they just built. So, decades.
I read something. They were saying that since 2000, that's when you start to see the boom of technology. You start to see the iPhones pop in, the computers changing, and the digital world went from this big, gigantic hardware to everything becoming smaller and smaller. So you have the big, thinner, more intuitive, exactly. So smaller devices that can be used for so many different things. And that's all something that's leading step by step to one thing and one thing only, the greater price. You know what I'm saying? So that's the technology, that's the computer interface that they want people to use, but this time it's within you. And you have to decide. It will change you. That's hey, you gotta hey, thank the Lord, man, because we're not bad people, we're not evil. And I can say that because even when the lady and her family were passing by, the little girl, the elder was speaking in the passion, but he was able to catch himself and say, let me be considerate as a child back then. You see what I'm saying? We're not spewing evil. Don't listen to these old ass niggas talking about it's hate speech and all that. Who speaks from the Bible that's hate speech? If it ain't them, they're the ones who do it, not us. You see, we're bringing out the truth. We're bringing out the facts according to biblical prophecy. And whatever happens, guess what? We're not afraid. We're not worried because it's all the will of the Heavenly Father anyway. Again, we're the messengers. But there's a bigger picture. We're just here to tell you what the picture is.
That's my house. Like, you know, people want to tell me, we had a phone boy. I ain't gonna stop speaking because I know what I'm saying. Hey, literally, I say to you, like, I'm speaking the truth. And that's the most powerful thing to actually do is stand on your ground for really true. No matter what actually type of person you get. Start from truth until death. I'd rather die speaking the truth than to control like, tell a lie. And you got people that easily like, I lied. liars. I'm lying right now. It's fine. It's cool. And the Lord hates liars.
I'll look at the blind tongue and sit the ball in the corner.
Hey, it's crazy because and even in America's government, they can't really persecute you for speaking the truth. It's part of the their freedom of press, right? When they were coming up with the whole concept of the press, they had to make certain rules and regulations for the press. At first, they were like, nah, we can't add the press to it because guess what? The press was questioning the government. And they said, well, the press can do that because the government was put in place by the people. So if the people can't question what's going on, then there's a problem there. You can't criticize the government, there's a problem there. So they said, okay, fine, you could criticize, but we can't really persecute. If you come up with some false shit about the government, they can come after you. But if you're speaking truth and you're criticizing them based on truth, there's nothing they can do about it. That's where we stand. You see? So we're under the concept of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and all these different things. But guess what? Why are we being persecuted? Why is that what we're saying is considered hate speech? Because it's the truth. There's a difference. And they can't do anything about it besides what? Demonize the truth. And then now they justify when they come in with the force against the truth. But you got it.
Joel 3 and 14. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Again, going into how we mentioned, when that day comes, when the missiles hit, there's going to be so much smoke, it's actually going to cover the sky. And the fact also that I know that the sun and the moon represents knowledge and wisdom on the left hand that they have that's being taken away from them, which is leading them into this ditch, The scripture says that the heathen are sunk down in the pit which they live. So they're preparing this, they're thinking that they're going to benefit, but it's really their own tomb, their own downfall. Digging their own grave,
When that day happens, Yahweh, all of the knowledge and wisdom that they thought they had, that they deceived the world with, it's all out the window. Nobody's going to be able, you're not going to be able to explain this with any type of knowledge and wisdom that you have currently in this world. When this actual event happens, Yahweh shall come. Only knowledge and wisdom that's going to be able to explain this is the one that we always have. That's it. That's the mystery. That's why we're not living. But we are literally going to be the most wisest people on the earth because we're the only ones going to know what this is. Everybody else is going to read, none of that. All that's going to be like, that's not profit. Your money, none of that's going to profit. You're going to be able to buy the understanding of you here. It's going to be a complete mind fuck.
And they shows you also who the real Israelites are, because what's being gathered over there, they're all gathering around those people that are calling themselves Jews for war. And when we're in the land, they're going to gather to learn the knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Right now, they're over there gathering, but they're gathering for death and destruction. That's a stone cold fact to show that you are not real Israelites. Yeah, you're the ones popping it off. Word. Got a middle of it. They're coming to a light, but that light is really as dark. Going down to 17. Read down the end on 17. It says, Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh shall will be the hope of his people.
So you won't have people bugging out thinking they're about to die. We're going to be excited waiting to see, okay, when is the Lord coming out? We're going to be looking up every 2 seconds for the first sign of his appearance. You know? That's exactly what we're going to be doing.
It's funny because they came out the movie Don't Look Up.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy.
Which was the end of their age.
Sitting in heaven dinner and the fire came in this room. That's what the Lord said will happen. He said in the last day, Luke 17. You know?
Yeah, it says, I read it from this book. It says that Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel.
That's why it says that not to keep it in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you. This is why we're able to have peace and we're talking about all this, because our mind is stayed on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. And everything that we're talking about, all the chaos, all this calamity, our main focus is, well, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh is going to be able to deliver us from this. So we are in peace. That's our hope. Everybody else's hope is in how that problem will be solved. That's not the hope that we have. Our hope is how is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh going to deliver us? Because the problem's not going away. It's just going to be, then shall my children be known who the ones that were delivered from those things, from the set terror. Right?
So shall ye know that I am Yahweh, your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore.
We gonna all know. Those that didn't know, they're gonna know that this is the work of the Heavenly Father. But for us, it's just gonna be fully important. The Lord said this is gonna happen. He has accomplished what he said he was gonna do. And at that point, when all that is cleansed, ain't no years gonna be coming up and spreading Jerusalem and spreading more. Both the people and the people.
Hey, that's my bad.
I was going to say, because it said them. So like, that can't be those people there now, because I haven't heard them mention their God once. All I heard is asking America for help, this for help, cry for this, donate money, send money. Where's your Lord? Where's your Savior? It's about time. He should be here. You need him. But he ain't there. You know, he ain't there.
Right? Isn't he supposed to be our people? What happened? But guess what? We call upon Yahweh Bashim Yahweh, and the whole world is going to see the power of the nation of Israel. Just like they did back then. You see, the world is going to see who the true people are based on the interaction we're going to have with our Heavenly Father. Those people over in that land, they're going to be eviscerated off that land. And the Lord is going to send his people back in that land. And it consists of 12 tribes. We don't see 12 tribes over there. The 12 tribes are still scattered till today. All right, and they're being gathered now as we speak through this word. There you go. So everything is evident. You just got to open up your eyes to see it. And guess what? A lot of people are seeing it. Those who don't want to see are still seeing it. So there you go.
Hey, but why are they fighting? They're fighting because of the land. That's what they're really fighting about. You got Ishmael, and you got, was that Ishmael? Ishmael and Amalek fighting over the land. And really, it's funny because that's the two closest to the actual Israelites. It's Ishmael and Esau. And that's why it says, like, then shall the strangers no more pass through. Because once Joel 9 to 16 happens, that's when the Lord said, all right, I'm going to wipe them out. They're not going to pass through that land. There's not going to be a conflict that's going on between two states. Nah, it's not going to be no conflict. I'm going to gather them up, take them out, put y'all there. What's that? That's it. It's ready.
And that's the truth.
It's time to have all these things.
Y'all do the work. Look at that. Y'all doing all that fighting. All we do is talking. Before you know, we just going to come and put it in nice. And then you going to build it up. Yep.
Oh, clean it up. First line, thank you. First line of business. First line of business for the other nations when we get in that land. The first thing we talk about way back, clean this shit up. Clean it up.
Ain't no unemployment over there.
What is that universal basic income? I'm gonna give you the universal basic income.
It's always gonna be work.
No discrimination. Everybody
Universal basic work. Hey man, that's the gospel. With that, Lord willing, is edifying unto the elect, giving all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Until next time, Shalom.